triple kill, but Son of Finn, he'll deny the plant. He sees 2 more kills. Oh my god! Son of Finn will find more!
Where's Miracle? He's trying to come upstairs, but Crafty will get the ace. He'll get the plant. He'll do it all.
Device misses shots. He's gonna have to go for the first.
Oh,
He pushes
Dylan!
on through. Dylan is better.
Round 2, and there's another as Tyrants is finished off, and they all line up for Bone.
SCS has returned. It is week 3. My name is Chief Cass, and once again, Crow is going to be joining us, my friend. Hello.
Hello. This is our first time actually doing a proper 2 maps together. The only other times we've casted were, I think, like fill-ins when, like, you know, one of our co-casters has been unable to come in, and then we come in for a map and then depart. But we'll finally get a full series. Finally. It's been a long time coming, and we have PDHM, a Challenger League team, versus Project Neo, who were the only I think the only T3 team to beat a T1 team in the NSG DZ event. I think Mystic beat I lied. Ariel did. But they beat TSM. So that's cool. Project Neo are heralded as one of the better teams in T3. So this should be a pretty good game despite PDHM probably saving.
Well, PDHM is sitting at 6th in their division right now, where Project Neo is sitting in 3rd. But I think you highlighted it best. PDHM, you know, they're a phenomenal roster, but they're here to have fun. You know, this is kind of their field day. They're not going to show their strategies. They're going to hop into the server and play the game they love. And honestly, I can't fault them for that. Sometimes, you know, we just take things far too seriously, and this is their time just to relax and put their feet up on their desk.
Yeah, so PDHM have just kind of been rolling with the punches. They've just been taking what's given to them. They have 3 points, I believe, on the board along with Vale. I think they're both tied for 3. Neo, though, up at the top, they are at 6? Oh, I forgot the graphics. I was looking at the RCMP feed. I don't know why I'm guessing. I was right. They are 6. See, there we go. I didn't even have to look. I just knew. So PDHM, like you said, at the bottom. Probably going to be looking for some points, but if they don't get any, I doubt they're that worried. Challenger League does start on April 3rd, so it's right around the corner. Project Neo, though, they're going to be coming in with the passion. JJ always comes with the fire. I expect this to be, at the very least, a tie, if not 2-0 Neo.
Now, I will say my favorite game so far this season was the first week of PDHM's play on Clubhouse, where they're just flying out windows. Honestly,
Yeah.
If anything epitomizes how I play ranked, it is Valkyrie camera on window and enter Monkey Brain and just run out. But we've been highlighting these teams. Let's actually talk about the rosters, the 10 players that will be participating today. And everybody here is so well known. If you want to highlight, 10 individuals who are superstars across T2 and T3, look no further than the 10 in this lobby.
Yeah. On PDHM, we have Raffi, Wav, Subarctic, Exo, and Prompted. Prompted, I believe, being the only player... Prompted and Wav, I believe, being the only 2 on that roster with previous Challenger League experience. Well, no, Raffi was on The Slats, but I don't know if we can really call that experience. Wav was on the previous PDHM roster. Prompted, not gonna lie, don't remember what team he was on. Exo just turned 18 very recently, so he'll finally get his shot, and Subarctic joining the squad as well. On Project Neo, we have X24, Oni coming from Pride, Spiker, JJ Blastful, and Adapt. These guys have been around, at least for JJ has, as the core of this team for quite a long time. Actually, since I started casting is when JJ's been playing before that, so he's been around for a while. So is Adapt. Spiker, Oni, and X24 all a little bit newer, but they still bring a wealth of experience, and this should be a really good game.
So before we hopped into this VC, a couple of the analysts and I were talking about who are the best underrange players currently, and there was a couple names thrown out, a lot of them in this lobby: X24, Spiker, and Oni. And honestly, all those players are beyond brilliant. Now, sure, they've been struggling in the statistics department. We always average things out to a 1.0 being the average. So some of the players on Neo sitting at below average, but I think their overall in-game prowess just still outshines, the number rating.
Yeah, Neo were able to, I believe, 2-0 Veil, but they had definitely a rough time against Aggro. That's kind of why the statistics are skewed a little bit negatively. Aggro just completely ran over them, as they have everyone in this league. We'll be excited to see them later in the week with Splash now in after the whole Ashen incident. X24, though, he hasn't stopped. He hasn't stopped rolling. He's 41-28, 7-3 on entry, a 73% headshot, which is, absolutely fantastic for 41 kills, 51% cost, which is kind of what you expect usually a lower cost from your entry player. So X24 certainly up there. Raffi, Wav, and Subarctic all boasting 1.0 ratings or higher, all with positive KDs as well, though it is a hell of a lot closer than the plus 13 that Logan has. So again, rosters seem pretty evenly matched. Actually, the lowest on Neo still above the 4th place player on PDHM, so maybe a little bit more of an edge there, considering that they have a better, closer spread. As you see the predictions, most of our staff leaning towards Neo, which I definitely agree with, but I'm still not going to rule out that tie.
I gotta say, Crow, we suck at making predictions down here. Sitting at 31%. Yeah. Last season, I thought I was on par. Every single prediction I made, I thought I was so good. Coming into the season, I'm going to continue on that. I've been showed what's up far too often, these prediction signs. So both of us, or at least I voted Project Neo, you voted Ty. At this point, who knows what's going to be the case?
Yeah, I think Ferme is saying in our ear, so far our average is a 33%.
Oof, I'm below average. Oh.
That doesn't look right. How can we have a 33% when only 1, 2, 3, 4? Oh, I see what he means.
The outlier of Keg.
No, he's talking about it's a 1 in 3 chance to get the prediction correctly. That's not how stats work for me.
Man,
but it's our average as a whole seems to be hovering around high 30s, I think. So we're still below average no matter what. So, but we've definitely got outliers. Jonah at 54, Max at 62. Those are definitely going to skew the average. Even Carter's doing 46. He's not doing half bad. So yeah, we probably average out to about that 38% mark that Azul and McCready are at, I'd imagine. Just eyeballing it.
There's still a series to be had. And let's start talking about our ban phase. Chalet, Crow, I was so eager to cast this map, the newest addition to the competitive pool. Theme Park got booted. Players decided that they weren't happy with that map, so it got relegated to the rubbish bin. So Chalet will now be in, but we will not be seeing that map in this series. It is the T3 special, Clubhouse and Villa. Fortunately, no Borgen to be seen. It was one of the auto-removed maps, but we're going to have to see what both these rosters are capable of. There's, a plethora of VODs for both these teams on these maps, so plenty of information to break down.
Yeah. I'm surprised Neo don't want to bring us to Chalet, because they loved Theme Park, and they're usually one of those teams that kind of jumps on the newer map, especially because PDHM probably don't want to show anything on Chalet, like even more than they don't want to show anything on anything else, because that's going to be going into the Challenger League season. I would expect, especially teams like PDHM, Ape, Parabellum to be the ones to try and bring out Chalet first. But yeah, Clubhouse Villa on the night, we're going to be getting a total of, Oregon Cafe Club Villa. The big four for, Siege as a whole, not just T3. So, could be worse. Could have a repeat map. We're not going to, thank God. But Club Villa is still pretty standard. Both these teams should be competent on both of them. Although Villa is the map that Neo beat TSM on. Can't forget.
Well, was that TSM at their best? Probably not, but
no,
I can guarantee
not at all.
That was Neo at their best. They wanted to win because, look at the bragging rights. You get to beat a T1 team. It doesn't matter, if they're giving, 110% effort. You still beat Bolo. That's the greatest accomplishment in your life. You just put it in your bio, 1x beat Bolo in a comp match, and just leave it there forever. You never, ever remove it. And honestly, it puts a smile on my face to see, young talent, playing with the ladies and gentlemen that get paid to play this game handsomely.
Yeah. So Neo are definitely proud of that. I don't know. I don't know. They don't take that claim very like all too seriously
Oh,
because
of
they
course not,
know TSM were trolling. But it's like, hey, we beat TSM. How many you can say that? But we do have all 10 players in the lobby, so hopefully when they are all ready, we can go ahead and start the map. So heading into Clubhouse, it will be PDHM starting on the defense, as this is Neo's pick. Although the interesting thing about Clubhouse is that a lot of people are of the opinion that it has started to swing in the attacker's favor, mainly down to those Wamai and Jaeger nerfs.
Well, especially with aggro, we really saw this map suddenly become, again, that almost attacker signed it. It was the way aggro was plating, and they would just have instantaneous information in their drones. I call it the favela strategy, where you just have like a string of information drones downstairs in bar as well as upstairs in master bedroom. And then you just have your primary and secondary entries just instantaneously push, and then they're knocking on the bomb site doors almost
Yeah.
instantly, the first 60 seconds. And your job as the defender is to waste time, because when there's an attacker pretty much ready to challenge you, and there's 2 minutes left in the round, you just have to kind of sit there awkwardly and hope that you can somehow put all of your utility together to magically, save, 2 extra minutes.
And Capitao going to be the first operator banned. We know that with the Wamai change, less discs, and even Wamai being banned a hell of a lot on Clubhouse, Capitao comes through full force. He's an excellent operator, especially used by Vale in their last game. Frozen was on top of it with the Capitao. Thatcher to follow, which means Maverick and Hibana are both going to be left up. In fact, all 4 of the hard breachers are going to be left up on Clubhouse. So if this isn't already attacker sided, I don't know what is. We'll see what Neo take off the defense. Is it going to be a Wamai? It is going to be a Cade. You don't want to have to deal with Cade with no Thatcher. That's going to make it so that you really don't need to bring a Maverick at all. You can just bring that Hibana, bring either an Ace or a Thermite. Probably more of an Ace, just because he's a little bit more versatile on this map, especially with the smokes. The final man from PDHM will be... Ooh, the Valkyrie. So Mira's still up, Goyo's still up, Wamai's still up. All right, maybe not as attacker side as I thought. We'll have to see what happens when we get in game.
I think throughout this series that we're going to just see unique attacking lineups, because, as you said, you have access to all 4 hard breachers. Are you going to go, for a traditional Maverick trick? Are you going to go for a push in through stock, take lounge, send one of your Ash breaching charges sky high, remove the potential bandit? Or are we going to even see defender utility on that East Plat wall? Because it's going to be guaranteed to be broken down in one way or another. And that's going to be on the defense to also react. Where are we going to waste time? Are we going to try to roam throughout the entire map, taking gunfights to those attacking teammates of PDHM sooner rather than later? Or are we just going to guarantee, East wall is open, there's nothing we can do, we're just going to isolate ourselves behind deployable shields as well as into rafters and use long lines of sight as, our apex positions? And we've even seen rosters kind of double down on that mentality, bringing out rooks just to have access to a 2-time scope, and you sit in R2 the entire game and just hope you don't get fried.
Yeah, so we're going to see the Wamai come out as well as the Mira. So already, the operator's not banned. Going to be taking advantage of by PDHM. They've got the Jaeger as well, so plenty of utility denial. Add on the Malusi. And Mute, just to add insult to injury. Now you've got drone denial on top of that as well. Project Neo, in fact, not taking the Hibana, taking the Maverick. Maverick tends to be more powerful on the upstairs takes, Hibana better on the downstairs takes, so I imagine if PDHM end up winning that site, JJ's going to swap off. But interestingly enough, we're going to have a double Mira setup on the platform.
Well, we're highlighting how to make this difficult, right? I mean, if you have literal information devices, things that the defense can sit behind and just stare at you creepy like, the uncle at a pool party. You can do that for the entire duration, for all 3 minutes. And then when you see the attackers try to go for their hard breach, you crack the wall open and you take the gunfight straight to them. Oni just sprints away after sitting a Selma charge down range. The reason being he doesn't want to deal with these mirror windows. The fact that we never saw them get opened up is baffling, to say the least.
Yeah, one of those mirror windows will stay up. It's the crouch one on the right side. Interesting that Adapt is actually playing Zoph with with the LMG. That's not a very common sight. I was definitely interested, you know, I was a little concerned that Oni had already used 2 ace charges on Garage, because Prompted can still play off of this. Subarctic's gonna get the first kill. In fact, he's gonna get a double kill to open things up inside of Rafters. Down goes JJ, Spiker, and Adapt now, as he's taken out by Raffi. Subarctic with a 3rd kill. A triple for him on the Malusi. It's just Oni. 1 versus 5. In the first, minute 20, I think that was? Insane play from those 2 defenders holding Rafters, and Raffi with the last one. It's a flawless run for PDHM from both MP5 users, just holding down Rafters and Garage.
Yeah, you have to push from multiple angles. If you're just trying to send it through one breach, that is a fatal funnel. If you're not familiar with what that jargon term is, it's basically just pushing in through one fixed position. In this case, it's going to be the breach. I mean, you have practically the entire gun barrels of the defense staring straight at you. What do you expect's going to happen? If you at least send, utility down range, like those smoke grenades, you can cut off some of those lines of sight. But it's still advantageous of you to push in from the west side of the map, try to take construction. But sometimes teams try to, utilize that aggro strategy. All right, we've opened up the wall. Let's just YOLO into the bomb site. And at that point, taking those gunfights could almost be a liability.
Yeah, and, take the gunfights. PDHM certainly did. Subarctic and Raffi getting all 5 kills in the round. Now we're going to swiftly move on to Church. Almost the exact same operator lineup, with the exception of Prompted on the smoke. Exo now picking up Womai. Subarctic going off the Malusi onto the Mira. Raffi off the Womai onto the Malusi. A whole slew of operator changes. The only one that kept consistent is that Wab is going to stick Jaeger, because that's what Frenchies do. Neo, in fact, not going to pick up the Hibana. That's definitely interesting. Hibana is absolutely, without a doubt, the most powerful hard breacher on Clubhouse. After the buff, you can avoid the impact tricks. You can open up all the hatches, including, you still have some as well for the church wall or anything else you want to breach. Even these mirror windows that Subarctic and the rest of PDHM are going to be playing off of probably this entire match. I'm just a little bit confused as to why JJ insists on sticking that Maverick.
Well, you're highlighting the French earlier, and Hibana fits into that. I call the French style of play is when you open up that B bomb hatch. And the problem with that is Clubhouse has once again been reworked, or as the devs like to call it, the map buffs, where it's box 2 that is now a triple stack box. And when you win for those aggressive takes, you as the attacker is kind of utilizing, the high ground like Anakin, challenging all the defenders sitting over towards the southeast of the bomb site. But now, since it's a triple stack, you really can't utilize that strategy. So I wonder if opening up the hatch is viable at all anymore. Sure, you can still go for the impact grenades, you can still go for a nitro denial, but at a certain point, does it become a liability?
It's definitely possible. I don't know if it will be in this round. We'll have to find out, but I think you're definitely not wrong. In fact, we've got a Womai disc on the kitchen's or on the arsenal ceiling, just to make sure that if any nades get sent down, they'll be caught. Deny Project Neo of any easy kills. Alrighty, we're a minute 40 left in the round. Adapt will start to clear that blue utility, so there's one side of the pinch. The rest of it will likely come from either kitchen or main. JJ now going to work to get that blue hatch open and make the player behind Generator, probably Wav, a little bit more exposed. One of those C4s goes out, it catches X24's feet, but it does not kill him, luckily enough for the sledge. But Raffi is still playing behind here. First ace charge is going to go off. It'll be successful. Raffi, unfortunately, playing with the C4 and not the impacts, won't be able to deny. He's still looking for this pick on the sledge. He'll be dealt a little bit of damage. None back on X24, and he will relinquish bottom arsenal. Kitchen hatch now open, and Neo setting up for the kitchen drop blue pinch.
It'd be all about utilizing time and preventing Project Neo from entering into the bomb site. An LMGE, a weapon that you don't see all the time, 150 bullets in the drum magazine will find the first kill. Subarctic will fall. Now that's a mirror window and a nitro cell that has now been lost. And beyond PDHM to still hold the fort down, they're not exactly sure where Project Neo is going to be pushing from. They have a lot of options in front of them. Whether or not Dirt Tunnel is one of those options, it has now been lost. The diffuser surrendered there, and Project Neo has to retrieve that if they want to be victorious. X24 will attempt to do so. He will also lose his life. A double kill for Adapt on the
Oh.
LMGE. It's all bananas over here in Dirt Tunnel. A triple kill for the SMG-11 and the Diffuser. It doesn't matter. You have to grab it now. Adapt is in the bomb site, but he's so far away. It's a 1v2 with 12 seconds left on the clock. Spiker credits himself with 1, but he still has to leave that fatal funnel. EXO in a deep angle, utilizing that 1.5 times sight. He spots the rotation, but great trigger discipline. The bomb's going to have to go down, and it will not. A wonderful round, round 2, PDHM's victory.
Really good stuff from Prompted, retaking dirt, being able to deny some of those kitchen players. A 3K on the round from him as Smoke. And like you said, from there it was a 2 versus 2. Adapt stuck in the site with just 1 HP. Exo playing that really heightened box perfectly. Good trigger discipline behind the bomb chassis, not letting Spiker know of his location. If the Ash knew, that could have definitely been a kill if Exo had not moved, but he played passive, didn't let his position be known, and now we'll go on to Gym Bedroom. And again, role swaps abound. Wav, still on Jaeger, Subarctic and Raffi will again trade the Womai and Malusi. Exo this time on Mira, and we see the Aruni. Aruni, this is really the only site where you're going to see her on Clubhouse. We see it like on Cafe. When it's a reading defense, they use it to extend into bar. And we see it on Clubhouse. When it's a gym defense, they help facilitate that cache extension.
And it's also important to note, since she has her passive ability, punching fists, she can make a lot more rotations and quicker than a shotgun would. And why that matters is we've seen defenders waste 30 seconds trying to shotgun out the bottom of the gym wall. Now, you just have a Rooney come there, and she punches it. Now, she's usually that punch over on construction, but that's still an important part of your defense. That way, you have access to that long angle, and you deny any attacker that attempts to vault in through one of those windows. Teams have gone for just about every single trick in the book to deny that type of play. Whether or not it's a Frost, whether or not it's an Ella, or just gun bullets. At the end of the day, we found out bullets answer a lot better, and good positioning over that extension will be the prayer to a lot of teams.
This is odd. Prompted is... Oh, no. They don't know, do they? This could be... Oh, no. So, Prompted will sacrifice the Jacuzzi Breach for an opening pick onto the map. Worth. Honestly, worth. And you've got the mirror window here for cover. I mean, sure, it can be blown up from below. Fun fact, if you were unaware. But hey, the wall would have probably been opened by said Maverick anyway, but now you make sure that he can't do anything about the cash players, and you rip those nades away from Neo's arsenal.
Yeah, that hard breach utility is going to be quite important. Where are you going to use it? Because sure, you open up this mirror window, but you still have to rotate over towards the east side of the map. That is going to waste a lot of time. But all the Selmas have gone down range. At least 2 of them have. And EXO is going to fortify his position even more. The final Selma will connect. I think EXO may have lost his spot. He knows it all too well and rotates away. This means that Project Neo will be forced with a linear take for the remainder of round 3. Or if they do elect to push in from the east, it is basically through those door frames because they won't be able to recreate any additional parts of the map. But there is a rotation on top red, so it could still work out well.
And I mean, even then, even if they try to push from east, it's not going to go well because they haven't cleared any of those roamers out. Spiker does get a refrag. Down goes Raffi the Malusi, so that is a C4 off the board. Still a 4 versus 4. Minute 15 left. Not a lot of utility on the side of Neo, except for in Adapt and Spiker's pocket. Still got 1 nade from X24, but as I talk about Adapt, he goes down. Prompted will get a second kill as X24 is now dead. No more nades. It's just Oni and Spiker at a 2 versus 4. Less than a minute remaining, but it's still a decent amount of time. It's not crunch time just yet. Oni will try and move through bathroom and gym. He's very wary about vaulting through because that'll be a huge sound call for Prompted playing behind the second mirror window. Wav also holding off that downstairs player. Spiker dead. 1 versus 4 for Oni. He'll hop in a bathroom. There's tons of people staring at him. There's one right by the Aruni on cons. There's a mirror window being played by Prompted, who will just call out info. But as soon as Oni looks away, it's the perfect time to peek. PDHM take round number 3. It is a perfect site rotation for the defense.
Thinking outside the box is one of the best ways to find yourself in a good position. PDHM did exactly that. That early spawn peek, shutting down any pressure that Spa would have, is exactly what you want. As soon as you nerf the hard breachers, removing one of them from play, everything tends to spiral downhill. because Clubhouse is designed to have hard breachers. And if any bomb site is, it's also going to be Gym because you have to open up so many different angles. As soon as you lose one of those primary hard breachers, that Maverick, you have to kind of go back to the drawing board and say, what am I going to prioritize moving forward? Is really this upstairs bathroom my insertion point? Do I want to continue to push through Spa? Or will I gain more traction if I push in through the east? And honestly, probably to answer my own question, it is both. You need to accomplish both those goals because PDHM was very comfortable in the dying seconds of those rounds. They had players in construction that has sat there the entire game because Project Neo never decided to remove them. You need to be dynamic on these attacks. And so far, Project Neo has been far too linear.
Yeah, they've been pretty easy to read for PDHM so far. I mean, they've barely even been able to make it into the building on the Cash and Gym attacks, at least. So we are going back to Cash yet again. We've got the Miro, we've got the Malusi Wamai combo holding down Garage. We've got Prompted on the mute. So I think this is reverse. I think last time it was Prompted on the Mira and Exo on the mute. We'll see if are they still playing for that double Mira on Platwall. There's one.
Oh,
and there's the other. Yep. Still the double Mira. I mean, it kind of worked, right? I mean, the other Mira was still up, allowing or making Project Neo a little bit nervous about their Platwall presence. But I mean, if we remember, it was literally just down to that garage hold.
Well, there goes one of our first Selma charges being placed. The windows opened up. Where's the answer from Project Neo? They weren't prepared. Exo's going to lose a lot of damage. Utility being sent his direction. The frag grenade forces him back again. And actually, it all blows up in PDH's face. They never achieved their goal of getting that opening kill once again. Now, Neo, they have control of the East Plat wall. The problem is they can't utilize the on-the-ground or the prone angle Maverick holes. Why you set that up is to have one of your teammates on rappel, and you can, at feet level, watch any rotations of the defense. That no longer being an option, it's going to force Adapt to show a little bit more of his forehead if he wants to get aggressive on that rappel, and the primary entry, Spiker falling early, losing all that utility is not a good standing for Project Neo to beat.
Yeah, Spiker going down really early. That's 3 Ash charges gone, especially with the Malusi up. Although, there's no shields for them to worry about, so it's not the end of the world. You've still got Adapt, of course, with explosives. You've still got X24 and JJ with a couple nades. Very close angle through the server stack. Very slim from Raffy, dealing a significant bit of damage to Adapt. He'll have to play out the rest of the round at just about half HP. Unfortunately for Oni, he's only got 1 Selma charge left. Is this wall muted? Of course it is. We'll have to try and deny it from either below or send a nade up above, which is exactly what X24 is going to try to do. There is no ADS. No, there is. There is an ADS to cover. They'll burn it, luckily. I thought X24 was about to send that nade over without actually taking that out, but it'll take out Prompted as well. What a throw from X24 right behind Green Box. Down goes your mute. Down goes a C4 operative. So really good pick to bring back for Project Neo if you're going to take anyone else out next. Wab is down below. He'll rotate back up red to help his team on the site. You've still got C4 in the hands of Exo, but Subarctic, because he brought the impacts, won't have that at his disposal. We'll be able to impact trick the breach, so it's up to JJ now to get it open on the Maverick. Middle hole being open. He'll go for the prone next. Adapt still lording over the server window, making sure that Raffy can't rotate out, but he's got the headshot lined up. He'll be able to down the Zofia, but at the cost of his life, and JJ finds a nade kill as well. It's a 2 versus 4. It's Exo and Subarctic against, well, now 2 players. As Adapt has been taken out, Subarctic takes out X24, another one for Subarctic. And what happened to the lead that Project Neo had? But JJ walks in and goes huge! Despite being stuck in the Banshee, he takes out one in the cash door, whips around towards the red, rotate to find the second. And PDHM, despite it looking like they were going to be able to bring it back, gets shut down by the deputy himself.
Happy little accidents. You're highlighting that frag grenade. It was designed to remove that mute jammer, but instead it removed the top frag from the lobby. And sometimes you can have the best laid plans and they just don't go your way, but they go even better. It creates a new path and that avenue to push in, because losing that nitro cell, that was the key to that round. Because as soon as that wall cracked open, that nitro cell would have been gripped and it would have been sent down range. With a stack of Project Neo all in construction, it would have done damage. It may not have killed, but when you're in the dying seconds of the round trying to push in through a door frame and a breach, you don't really need a lot of accuracy. you just whip your utility and it's going to start to deal out damage. You repeat that step by holding mouse 1 and 2, and all the attackers are going to start to crumble. But when you deliver yourself in the perfect fashion, a well-cooked nade, it's all about the game.
Yeah, really good nade there. Nade from not only X24, but there's also one later in the round from JJ, too, to help open things up. So it was definitely the best round by Neo, by far, considering, of course, they won it. But I think it's definitely important to note that it nearly slipped away. Exo and Subarctic were able to string together 3 kills before JJ walked in and was able to fell them, especially because of such low HP on Exo. Wav will take out... Okay, that's pretty big. Wav just took out 2 drones before prep phase even ended, while the rest of the site was being set up. Now, there is no mute being played, so it's not like Project Neo are going to struggle droning the map, but, you know, every bit of intel that you can peel away from the attacking lineup is going to work towards your defense.
You know, speaking of drones, I absolutely love the new overlay. We talk about flank drones all the time, and now the overlay will actually tell you if there's flank drones in field. So the first number you see that is drones actually out of pocket somewhere on the map, and the second one, which is now also showing a 3, that is drones in your pocket that is currently not on the field. So you can get a good understanding of where the attackers are pushing from by utilizing God Vision, the overhead, and counting how many drones are downrange. And then you can kind of determine where are the insertion points, how are they going to be droning out the map. And right now for Project Neo, they've identified offsite pressure over by those central stairs. Forcing PDHM now back into their bomb site, but the name of the game is always drones, and 50% of that drone economy was lost in the first minute.
I also like how when people die, it does deplete the drone count if it was in their pocket. Doesn't do that with the rest of the utility for whatever reason. Like see the frag grenade counter? Like, if JJ were to die right now, it wouldn't reduce to 2, which kind of pisses me off.
Frustrating.
But at least the drones work, right? At least the drones work. Raffi is going to try and send a C4 up and deny this presence from the sledge, but unfortunately he's a little bit too late. Adapt has already moved off of it, and thus the breach will start to get opened by the ace. There is a counter, though. The impact tricks coming out. Unfortunately for Exo, though, his won't be successful. So the breach will go. The kitchen hatch will be open. Now you've got an extra avenue for the attackers. You've also got the sledge staring down. Now, thanks to this box being opened up a little bit more, you can play safer behind box 2. Actually, you know, stand up and peek things instead of having to cower behind it, and even then still be in danger thanks to that little slim top angle you can get to shoot the top of people's heads. Exo, though, will still be playing aggressive. They'll still be peeking that hatch for as long as possible. But now we're sub a minute. I mean, sure, Neo have gotten the kitchen hatch open and flushed out back Arsenal, but they don't really have much beyond that. As I say that, though, almost as if right on cue, there's a kill from Adapt, actually from above, I think threading the needle above that wall to take out Subarctic. So you do take out a C4 operator. That's really good for the attack, and actually, because Raffi used his earlier, there's no more C4 as Project Neo now set up for that kitchen trap.
And they're going to have to determine where they want to apply that pressure. Looks like it's going to be the push in through dirt. And it's going to be utility bonanza over here as both rosters are trying to get control. It's a battle of wits. No more smoke grenades left. It's all going to be on the SMG-11. Forced to go for the swing, but nothing will land. And now it's going to be a hot drop, but it's not going to work out for Spiker. The primary entry's down. Everybody's going to start to fall in dirt tunnel as well. But Adapts on the bomb site. He takes the challenge, but he has so little time left on the clock. He has to put it down on the deck. And where is PDHM? They're going to go for the swing. X24 finds one. He'll find the second. And Neo, they save the day in the back of X24.
Another extremely close round there from Neo. 2 people left alive, one of them planting. X24 was pretty much put in a 1v2 scenario, but the fact that he was able to push up long and be relatively uncontested prompted trying to sneak out dirt was caught, and X24 just transitioned onto the Jaeger. That probably should have been a PDHM round thanks to a great dirt hold by the smoke, but Logan stepped up where it mattered. Neo have now gotten 2 rounds off, you know, a solo play from a player. I think that was a 3K for X24, wasn't it?
I believe you're correct.
Pretty sure that was 3. So it was a 3K from JJ, a 3K from X24. So far, that's the common factor between the 2 rounds Neo have won. They got one more chance to prove to us that they can actually win a round without someone, you know, one single player going huge. Unless, you know, unless someone just goes huge for the 3rd time in a row.
Man, this mirror strategy is going to come out once again. It worked the first time we saw it in round 1. It became a liability back in round 4. And honestly, I get it. You're trying to deny access to the east wall. You can't do traditional utility. That means, bandit or mute in this case. You bring out something different. I like ingenuity. We've seen it before, and it's just not really accomplishing the end goal. So maybe you do, your rank style of play. I can't believe I'm about to suggest this, but you bring out a Valkyrie, but unfortunately she's banned. So maybe you burn an Echo Drone or an Alibi Prisma, and you just try to take the gunfights to Neo as they spawn. Running out for a stop, spawn peeking through the blue window. It sounds bizarre, but at least that way you're not going to lose all of your HP when you're trying to shoot open the mirror window. At least you have a guaranteed firefight that you're dictating.
Oh, here's the Maverick holes, making sure that that signal disruptor will go away. So there's still one mirror window on the main breach, but they have switched it up just a little bit. I actually don't know where the other mirror window is. Oh, it's just in the middle of the construction wall. Interesting. Ace will go out. Down goes the mirror window pretty much for free, which is what Neo were probably going to be playing for anyway. I don't really understand why PDHM were going to, in my opinion at least, waste a mirror window on plat wall like that instead of putting it in sight and having, either maybe on the server wall watching into cache, maybe inside of, we've even seen teams play like inside of garage, and put it down to watch server, but if PDHM end up 2-0ing, I guess it's something we'll have to say for the interview.
Well, an angle that we don't see very often, X24 playing on the warehouse rafters, an incredibly long angle. He's gotten off the LMGE. 150 bullets, he's decided he doesn't need that. He only needs 30. He only needs 1 if he lands up the headshot. Exo, he can hear the bullets flying into his bomb site. He thinks he wants to get aggressive, but ill-advised if he does, because there's no way you land any of your bullets with a Vector as well against a 2 times optic. It just won't work out in your favor. Project Neo, on the other hand, they're clearing out the map in a methodical manner. They have full control of the west side of the map, and now it's all about opening up the construction wall.
2 people on the defense situated below that stage hash. Unfortunately, the C4 will go to the wrong side as the nade has cleared out the utility behind the construction wall. X24 taking a little bit of damage from the Wamai of Raffi, who is just aggressively peeking that garage door, trying to keep the Zof at bay. And here's the breach from the Ace. No impact to deny, and thus the second mirror window will fall as well. We're still at a 5v5, though. In fact, the only damage being taken is a very minimal, trivial amount on the side of X24. There's only 35 seconds left as the time bleeds away, and even man count will only serve to help the defense. But there it is, almost as if right on cue. Spiker will get the entry frag onto Exo. Down goes your Miro. Down goes, I believe, your only C4 left on the board for that plant denial. The other people have impacts, and this late in the round, I don't know how useful those impacts are going to be. JJ has, in fact, slipped into cash and getting the plant down. It's a post plant now. His own takes out Wav. Raffi is stuck inside of garage thanks to the repelled player outside of plat. JJ is tucked in where the plant spot was right next to the table. Props is going to try and duo hold this X24, but Logan is there with the kill. Raffi's still stuck inside. He's going to try and jump out the window, but outside server is Spiker. It's just subarctic, and the crossfire being held from Adapt inside of Khan will result in a flawless post plant from Neo. 3-3 at the half. 3 in a row from each team.
And that's exactly what we want to see. That was a 3v5 post plant, something that you don't see every day. And Crow, we're actually joking about almost the exact same scenario before this map started. We are using aggro as our example, where they would take map control in the first 60 seconds. Now, in this case, it was about the first 90 seconds, and Project Neo, they realized that their opponent's PDHM was playing far too passive. At one point, there were 4 members of PDHM in the red hallway, on the red stairs, or down in blue. That just becomes unacceptable, because what angles are you going to hold if you're PDHM? Are you all going to be looking in the red rotate, challenging in construction? Well, if you do, the attackers know exactly where you are, and they're going to fry you as a result. And when you play passive as a defender with your back against the wall, your only option is to get aggressive. And at that point, the attackers know your hand. They know everything you have, and it's not going to be aces. X24, though, now that he's on defense, he's going to be bringing out an operator that doesn't receive any love. It is going to be Lord Tachanka. After his rework, he no longer has a turret. Instead, he has a noob tube.
wonder where he's gonna be playing with this. Maybe he's gonna do the frozen lineup from Logi Hatch onto the plat wall. There you go. Perfect denial. No, we've had mirror 3-3 halves so far. I mean, with the bans, I think with Clubhouse leaning a little bit attacker sided, and with the bans, Capitao being taken out, I think 3-3 half definitely makes sense. I would not be surprised if we see another 3-3 half, though it does look like Project Neo have woken up, able to adjust accordingly to the the strategies PDHM are bringing out. Now it's going to be Cash, like you said, Chanka now from X24. I don't know where he's going to be playing. We've seen Chanka 3 times so far. We've seen Frozen play it, and then get one fire off and die in Oregon Basement. We saw, I think it was Joe play it in just the map prior. He was playing Coat Check and then died. If X24 dies without using any of his utility, or he's holding down rafters, I'm gonna be upset.
What I actually like right now is we have 5 different amounts of secondary gadgetry. The only thing that we don't see is the bulletproof camera. So I guess you can see how the overlay will handle it, and you can see where it's being put down and how it's been put down. But something that's also interesting, Crow, is the fact that we actually see the submachine gun on Lord Chachanka instead of that LMG.
Oh yeah, the LMG is hot ass.
It is, but it's fun.
It is atrocious.
But you gotta make rotations. It kind of goes boom, 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 and it has a cool iron sight. Or
he's
bomber.
bouncing it off the vent to shut down bottom garage by the breach. That's actually really interesting. So Subarctic isn't going to be able to push through this breach, and he can deny the stairs. All right, he almost burned out himself, but now half Chanka's utility is going to be gone. Stuns start to come in. Is he going to be able to deny? He'll start shooting more down in bottom garage, but it's not going to touch Subarctic. It's already too late. He's already made his way in. Chanka does have the support of Oni, but unfortunately he will again miss the banks. He'll get up to run away. He's now dead as Prompted takes out Adapt. That was a little bit of a comedy of errors. It looked like a really smart idea, but leave it to Logan to mess it all up. It's now effectively a 3 versus 5. PDHM in the advantage. Spiker still down below an oil pit. It looks like Exo might be aware of it, though. He's holding on to that C4. He hears the proximity alarm going off. Exo's going to make his way up the rafters stairs, though, and Spiker's not going to deny him. He and Raffi both get a kill each, finishing off the Chanka and taking out X24 in sight. There's Subarctic with a kill onto Oil Pit. It is Deputy JJ, 1 versus 5. Smoke, red dot, first gas canister, whiffs. He's got 2 more, but he won't be able to use them. A flawless round from PDHM. They take their first attack.
That was a textbook round of how to deal with mini games. They realized if they wanted to go for a push into the default plant of CCTV, PDHM, they needed to clear top rafters. I think they found themselves in a roadblock that they weren't quite prepared for. Chachanka and his flaming grenade launcher. However, they did a wonderful job of breaking it down. They put a multi-angle crossfire, and they also heard that the Alda was in play. They put pressure, they took gunfights, and that's exactly what you needed to do. And Project Neo, even with Spiker downstairs with the SMG-11, his job was to protect his 2 LMG teammates, or I guess one of them without the LMG, upstairs in rafters and prevent a fast execute. He got off the angle at the wrong time. You know, Siege is a game about timing, and sometimes you look at the wrong place at the wrong time. And unfortunately, Project Neo, they bring out a unique strategy that just didn't deliver.
Yeah, the fact that the Chanka was flaming himself was not great. Spiker also let Exo get up into rafters, which actually directly resulted in, I believe it was the Legion getting killed. And then he just died anyway to Subarctic. That was a really good bottom garage push. They took the opportunity as soon as Logan had to reload. PDHM flooded in. That was kind of it. They got all the kills necessary. It's a 1v5 for JJ. He's really not going to take that. So far, we've had 3 flawless rounds. 1 at the very beginning of the map, 1 at the end of the first half, and now another one at the beginning of the new half. We kind of like been sandwiching the game with flawless rounds. But I mean, that attack was, I think, probably an outlier. That was Neo experimenting. Next time they go cash, I doubt we'll see something as unusual. Whether or not PDHM are ready for it, I don't know, because I mean, even if it wasn't a Chanka, if he didn't have to get up like that, I'm still confident in PDHM's garage take, They had plenty of players there. They have plenty of utility going in. I think even if they switch off and they still do that very similar Raptors hold, it probably still goes PDHM's way.
I couldn't agree more. But you're talking about experimentation, and this is the time and place to do so. We're currently in week 3. We're not anywhere close to the grand finals. So I'm trying to find out your strategies. Just because it works in a scrim and it has a success rate of 60%, that doesn't mean it's going to work in a live match, because the team that you're scrimming is not going to be the team that you actually play in that live match. What we talk about PDHM, they're great at taking gunfights, they're great at winning gunfights, and they're great at understanding what you're doing. You put all those together in a nice sandwich, and that's going to result in defenders doing something unique, but also dying in the process.
Yeah, I hope Neo end up refining that, though, because seeing the Chanka is always a bit of a treat.
Refreshing.
Yeah, to be sure. So far, though, I mean, he was able to use his utility this time, so I guess that's a little bit of improvement, but he still kind of died without doing anything. That is 3 for 3 unsuccessful Chanka plays. He's a little bit of a shame. Aruni, way higher success rate. She's really cool, but Chanka kind of fallen by the wayside, just as he did before his little rework. Next is going to be Church. What operators do Neo have selected right now? They've got a Jaeger and a Maestro, so probably no SSG roam. It's probably just going to be a standard bunker. Jaeger behind Jen, Maestro playing in Church. We're just waiting for X24 to get back, because his game, I think his game crashed. So hopefully we don't need to full rehost.
Unfortunately, honestly, Aruni, I love her because she can fill any role you want. If you need her to be a Jaeger Wamai, she's your girl, because she'll grab utility midair. If you need her to be a castle and deny insertion or deny an insertion point from the attackers, she's also going to be your girl. If you want her to roam across the map, she will punch a wall, make rotations, she'll punch top hatches, and sure, she also has a P10 Roni. Doesn't have access to 1.5 times sight, but it's still just as lethal. And Harrison, have you ever used the P10 Roni with iron sights? Because it's quite delicious.
Why would I do that?
It's wonderful.
I don't hate myself.
I sometimes do, man. So I guess that's why I do it.
I also just realized they didn't have a Legion that round. I don't know who I thought was the Legion, but somebody, I think it was the Maestro was the one whose death was directly caused
by our
Spiker
window,
not
right?
Peeking,
Yeah,
not peeking oil pull. I think that's who it was. I think I saw the Chanka icon, and because I'm too lazy to fix my hair, I thought it was.
I just want to say your hair is glorious today. Like, I could never grow my hair out that long.
I don't know what happened when I dried it, but like, it just won't get out of my eyes, and I've given up now.
Are you a blow dryer man?
I am.
Man of culture. I like that.
Dude, my hair is way too long. Like, I took a shower. I got out of the shower at like 5. Call time was 5:30. I just did not have time to let it air dry. Sometimes I air dry, sometimes I blow dry. Depends on how I'm feeling.
Well, it's only fitting that we talk about hair products because, Max was roasting my hair product earlier today, and all I have to say is he's wrong, and always use a blow dryer and hairspray. That's how you get the greatest hair on the. That's all in it there. What?
I don't use any hair care product.
Oh, really? You're just glorious without it?
I am just I'm simply Chinese. I have
Man,
soft, straight hair, just like every Asian in the world. All 3 billion of them.
hey man, you got good genes, so that's all I could give you with that.
Actually, I don't wear jeans. Fun fact.
Really, I love jeans, man. Jeans are the greatest.
Boo.
I'm sorry. I guess you have good genes and I have bad taste in closing hair.
With Chanka again, except this time he's got the LMG. Will X24 continue to burn himself and die uselessly? Stay tuned.
Hey man, honestly, this bomber sight is the greatest thing in the world. And if you played like Call of Duty back in the day, there was a sight that was exactly like that, and that's what all the tryhards use. So LMG with it makes sense, but we're gonna have to see how that time denial strategy actually wastes time. Because XM, he's just dropped Moto, and he's in a position to challenge, and that is a place that you do not want to be in when you're on the defense. The attackers are already knocking on your front door, and we haven't even hit 90 seconds. That becomes quite a difficult pill to swallow.
He's going to be able to work on this church wall now, especially since the shield has been taken out thanks to that nade. You saw his drone come in. It wasn't to find out the position of the defenders. It was to make sure there was no ADS protecting it. More flames go out, making sure that that Exo can't continue to just burn away on that wall and no one can sit there and hold it. But it looks like the flames may have slightly missed. We'll go back to just challenging this hold against the Maestro of, I believe, Adapt. X24 is busy holding the prone angle. Exo gets very lit up, and he's actually felled by Adapt, who pushes aggressively over towards Black Box. So down goes your Maverick. Though his job, for the most part, has been done, but the church wall, nevertheless, has not been fully opened. Prompted will respond, though. Down goes X24 as he is just in. I guess he tries to drop Moto and walk through the door. Wev goes down, though, so there's a response from the defense as Adapt does find his second from Blue. It's Rafty and Subarctic now after that quick play from Prompted that really didn't go anywhere. Spiker is lit up, but that's really all you got going for you if you're PDHM. You got one man on the kitchen hatch, one man moving down long. The Malusi ready with the C4. Rafi could pounce on this player, but no, he looks away just at the wrong time. Adapt gets a 4K in the round. Project Neo take round number 8.
We'll dub that the LMG strategy. Project Neo, a wonderful read. And honestly, it was PDHM's round to win. Look at everything they accomplished. In the first 90 seconds, they had all the hatches that they wanted open, and they were prepared to go for their execute. But it was almost like PDHM got tunnel visioned on trying to deal with the pressure on Church Wall. And instead of really dealing with it, they just pushed into Moto and won their gunfights and proceeded to die. When you're in that position as an attacking roster, you have to commit. If you're sending it out of Moto, you have your entire team do so. That way you can try to put that bomb down. But when you have attackers pushing in at different intervals and by themselves, sure, you may get some flamboyant kills, but as soon as you die, all of that map real estate, all those gunfights that you took, they're going to be lost because, you know, the tide can go back into the sea, but eventually it will come back on shore. Project Neo did exactly that. A good read for them and a great ability to, you know, come back from the brink.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is the first successful Chonka round. Woo! I mean, he didn't really do a lot, but they won the round with him up. Congratulations, Neo. You just set a first of probably very few. We'll be back to cash for them. Or sorry, no, back on to Jim for them. No Chonka this time, of course, because I mean, where are you going to put a Chonka here? At least the other ones made sense marginally. No Aruni though. I'm a little disappointed. We've been seeing Aruni a lot. They're not going to have her, especially with the way they're holding this. They could definitely benefit from it, but they're just going to stick Adapt and Spiker over there with the Goyo shields to play off of and have them sit and wait and waste as much time as they can.
The good old just roam as much as possible, destroy the drone economy, and this is the perfect time to have this new overlay. We can see exactly how these drones are going to be losing their lives to the defending utility. And actually, it's going to be interesting to see if Project Neo uses one of those Mozzie pests effectively and actually grabs a drone, will it be displayed up on the new overlay, or is it just going to be kind of lost in the sea of utility? I'm eager to find out whether or not that's going to be the case, and if it's not, you know, maybe the devs at Ubisoft decide, you know, maybe that's something unfortunate for the viewers to see, because, again, Rainbow Six Siege is, you know, a wonderful esport. It's an FPS, but it's not all about, you know, gun, go, burr, click heads. You have to be mindful of your utility, because that's what separates us from any other game. It's all about the operators and their utilities. Just like the plethora of flashbangs and frag grenades that are flying in Oni's direction. He somehow doesn't lose any of his life force. He only maybe about 10 HP, but he's able to rotate a free, and Hard Breach goes off in the washroom, and just like that, Project Neo has control of the round.
Spiker goes down to Prompted. Excellent first frag for PDHM. Wab is now down off the board. Not just finished yet. Still on the master balcony. He could very well be recovered. But for the meantime, PDHM are not going to be distracted by their fallen comrade. Exo will continue to push in. No one's in bathroom, so he'll hop right in and make sure that there is nobody playing inside of Master. Everyone's either in Con, Gold Vault, or in Logi. In comes the Maestro, right into the waiting arms of the Maverick. Exo looking for 2. Spots the player inside the vault as Wav has been recovered. Now it's 5 men up. Make it just 4 as Raffi does die to the Roni of X24. Make it 2 members of PDHM. they die to the Mozzie. The low HP Zoph as well as the Hard Breacher. We're back to an even 3v3. In comes the shotgun from JJ, but he's caught by Prompted. Low HP now for the Ash. 45 seconds left, but big frag from Exo and Prompted to finish things off. PDHM take round number 9 as they just move through Bathroom and cut down all the anchors.
Yeah, that's a great way of using that opening pick as the insertion point into your round, able to take that map control. But I have to give Project Neo credit. They were able to constantly refrag, but at a certain point, you can swing an angle over and over again, and the attackers are eventually going to realize, hey, this player is quite a threat. This is a roadblock that we need to deal with right now before we get continuously fried. And Harrison, look who's going to be back joining us in round 10. It is going to be the Lord Tachanka. And Top Rafters was his play last time. He ended up frying himself probably far too often.
It was pretty funny.
Hopefully he doesn't, burn himself alive. I mean, that's a step in the right direction for me. Not burning yourself alive is always a plus.
It would still be pretty funny if he does, though.
Oh,
that is the one solace we can take from X24's screw up, is that it was in fact pretty funny. It looks like he's going to be playing there again, as all of bottom garage is reinforced. He's got 2 ADS covering him. He's even got the LMG this time instead of the SMG. I wonder if maybe the SMG in the initial round, maybe that was a mispick, or maybe he meant to take the LMG and he just forgot, which is understandable. I think if he hadn't played Chanka like recently, I think it defaults you onto the SMG, if I'm not mistaken. But again, I'm really interested to see how this Chanka plays out. I hope he does a better job, because I mean, while he was able to kind of lock off the bottom of the garage breach for a little bit, Subarctic still just walked in when he had to reload anyway. So
Oni has been on quite the struggle bus this series. When he was picked up from the old Pride roster, he was really showing his ability to play well with the players at Project Neo, but for whatever reason, at the start of this series, he's just not had his impact frags. Now, he's been playing pretty much support operators the entire time. So, operators that are not in the heat of combat, but when you're the Alda wielder on CCTV, you're the last line of defense. All 82 bullets are going to be so crucial to defending the fort. And look at that. Also, phenomenal time element.
Yeah. Can we talk about how efficient Exo has been with those Maverick tricks?
Well, I think that just shows Challenger League players and their mastery of Clubhouse and the operators, because you're absolutely right. Most teams take 90 seconds to open up that east wall. They did it in the first 45, and that was quick. One sweep.
That is Matthew Exo, last name, ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Alabama of the United States. But as we say that, Exo will just, he'll just peek. He'll peek garage with a nade in hand, and he'll get his head taken off. And as he had the nade in hand, unfortunately, if you guys do not know, if you die with a nade in your hand, there will not be a grenade indicator for your teammate. So it fell at Raffi's feet, and he got blown sky high. X24 as well, supporting the Chanka hold. And there's X24 with another one. The Chanka working out way better in this round, especially thanks to that nade team kill and the cover from Spiker. It's now just Wav in a 1 versus 5. He's in a clutch ace situation, and he's stuck outside of Platwall with really nowhere to go. You see all the barrels from Neo staring at him. In fact, there's even a gas nade. The X24 will peek straight through it. It's a 3K from him. And Neo take the round. I can't believe I'm saying this, off the back of some really good Chanka play from X24.
Harrison, are we wrong about that LMG? I mean, that was a 3K in the round. Technically, was it a 4K because of the team kill with the frag grenade? I think we have to give him kind of like a 3.5K.
We'll give him an assist for that one.
Yeah, we'll get fine, but we'll take the assist.
It's like the assisted suicide from Call of Duty. It's like that.
Matradom, man, you don't want to be on the bad end of that grenade. But we've guaranteed that this is going to be the penultimate round, at least, of regular play. We will be going up to all 12 rounds, and Project Neo, the last time they were downstairs in the basement, it was a victory. It was a victory based off PDHM flying into their bomb site in an uncoordinated manner, and given the way that PDHM has been playing, I think they're going to slow down their execute by 10 seconds or so and then go for that push, because when you can storm the bomb site with all of your force, most defenders won't be, ready for that, because if they're anchoring the basement, that means some of their players are going to be over by B. they're in the boxes, they're going to be in blue or even an oil pit. And if a swift execute comes in, it's going to take, 5 seconds for the defenders to realize what's going on, to re-crash on that bomb site. And at that point, PDHM can, make themselves a nice new home in whatever bomb site they decide to take.
And of course, Neo will still be bringing the Chonka on Church. Still playing for that church wall denial. I also want to mention, I am so glad that Prompted is on Ash and no longer on the hard support, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna keep it 100, as the kids say. There were a lot of rounds from PDHM that I watched when Prompted was on the hard support where he trolled. Straight up, Prompted was a troller. And I'm sure his team was aware of it back in the VOD review. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily directly his fault, whether maybe it was missed calls from his team, but there were a lot of gunfights that probably should have gone his way that weren't. There were a lot of plant attempts that maybe he should have tried, especially like the one that springs into mind is the Coastline Rush, where he should have planted service, but just kept getting off of it, kept baiting it, and thus his team ran out of time, and they all died inside of service before they could get the plant down. But now that he's on entry, he's 14-6. He's leading the lobby. Maybe this is the role that Prompted was built for, and I hope that they keep this going forward.
And the perfect storyline to that was 7 of those kills came on defense, and right now, 7 of those kills have come on attack. And whatever role he has put in, whether it's passive or aggressive, at least so far in this series, he plays it and puts a masterclass on. Now, Ashes can no longer be the, full brain-dead fraggers of yesteryear. They still have to participate in some of that utility clear. Those 3 Ash breaching charges are going to be so important whenever you find a Malusi in your way, or in this case, one of those Maestro bubbles. They have slowly been broken down so far, and PDHM is in the exact same shoes that they were the last time we were here back in round 8 with under 90 seconds on the clock.
And this was down to Adapt getting a huge 4K on the Maestro to deny PDHM any sort of control in the site. There it is. All right. Unfortunately, not the angle not really working out there for X24 as those flames land not only in the site, but also kind of in the moto door rather than on the wall itself. A lot of damage being dealt to the feet of Adapt, I believe, with those Hibana holes, as Prompted holds the doorway from above, making sure that Exo can't get easily flanked. A nade will sail in, deal a little bit of damage to X24, and presumably take out that shield that he was playing behind, at least that he was playing in the original Church defense. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that that's there as well. Exo takes a little damage from the LMG as the rest of the utility from X24 starts to come out. He's got 4 more of those Shumika charges, but in comes the swing from Adapt. He gets 1 and able to line up the second, dropping the hatch as well. Huge kills from the Maestro, looking to go on another tear. It's a triple from Adapt. Low HP, but that doesn't matter when you got the 81 inside the gas. WAV will fall. It's just subarctic. He doesn't know where the Chonka is sitting. It's on top of the box, and he looks away. It's another 4K from Adapt, back-to-back on the Church defenses to seal the deal for Neo.
And the same storyline that panned out in round 8 is going to be the undoing of PDHM. This time, they're a lot more passive. They didn't decide to just send it into the bomb site. But the problem was, they also just sat there. They never really accomplished any of their goals. Sure, they pulled the pins on their frag grenades. They tried to break down those deployable shields. But when it came down to that final execute, where was the coordination? Who was the IGL in that moment of PDHM saying, 3, 2, 1, let's execute? Because when you have teammates over on the secret stairs not participating, PDHM was trying to establish a 180-degree crossfire. That was exactly the read that needed to be made. But when it comes to the execute, you have to apply pressure on every single front. Because if you don't, the gun barrels of the defense are going to be looking all in one direction. They immediately decide, oh, hey, now we're being pushed from blue. Let's look in that direction. And you go back and forth. It's like a sentry turret. And everything went well for Project Neo. They're now on match point, and it's going to be a coveted 3 points today if they are able to win that round 12.
Yeah, really good stuff from Project Neo so far. Like you said, on map point now, 6-5. We're 1 round away from either Neo taking the 3 points or going to OT. Of course, this is Neo's map pick, so the fact that this is this close on a map that they chose maybe bodes a little bit better for the side of PDHM, but Adapt going huge. He's gone to 4K both the Church rounds on the same operators. still inside of Moto. It's actually really impressive that he was able to do that twice. And it's another flawless round for Neo as well. I think we've had 2 flawless rounds from each team. Now it's back to Jim. The worrying thing for Neo is that this is the only site that they have not won in their site rotation. They have not won Jim. It was that one round where Prompted just walked in, was able to get his frags, and shut down the round. So Neo needs some sort of adjustment. Let me check the clean feed. Where are their operators right now? Smoke, Jaeger, Mira, Goyo, Malusi. So it's pretty similar. Only, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't have the Mira last time.
I believe they had the Mira and Jim. They didn't have the Tachanka when they went to Jim bedroom.
Did they have the Mira?
I believe they had the Mira on the upstairs washroom because we had Oni. I don't know if maybe. All I know is Oni got obliterated. You're right. Oni was just sitting in the
playing there with the reinforcement.
Yeah, he was just sitting there in the reinforcement.
Yeah, it was
and
Maestro.
got triple flashed. Yeah.
He was Maestro. Yeah. So the
And he
Mira. So the Mira
rotated
is
safely.
new. The Mira is going to be a new adjustment from Neo. Is it going to be the round winning? The match winning adjustment? Who knows? Hard to say. Both teams have had some very, mainly PDHM had some very odd Mira play on their cash defenses. It was definitely normal on Jim, helped him win that round, but it was definitely odd. So whether or not Neo use it to assist the cash hold or have it placed in bathroom is another story. I think I would like to see it placed in bathroom because Exo and Prompted took that control very swiftly. But we'll have to see once we get back in.
So yeah, part of that problem for Neo is they just never wasted any time anything they do. The mirror window, that's a way to waste time because that's a roadblock that PDHM is going to have to deal with. They can't just haphazardly push in and challenge that gunfight because whoever's behind that mirror window is always going to have more information than you. But maybe outside of Project Neo, if you want to waste time, I can't believe I'm about to say these words. Maybe you bring out Tachanka for all 3 bomb sites because to Tachanka's credit, he's actually worked out maybe not as well as I would have liked, but he's still, accomplishing a goal.
Yeah, I mean,
he's delaying time,
he's
delaying
3.
insertion points. I mean,
3 out of 4.
I think the only problem with that Tachanka is it's like the opportunity cost of utility. If you bring out the Tachanka, who are you going to forego?
Yeah. It's kind of been like the Womai.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of taking the Womai to hold rafters, or instead of taking the Womai and having him hold in church, they have been taking the Chanka. So I guess if you're gonna sub anyone out, might as well be him. Here's the mirror window though. 1 on bathroom. What about the other? So it doesn't look like it's gonna be the gold wall. Just because of the rotate that they've opened up. It's not gonna be Con Logi? Or no, okay, it is going to be to help facilitate that cache server room. It's just going to be going down right on the cache wall. So, okay, that makes sense from Oni. That's pretty default.
I would like to see more holes to be made at that, wall between cache and CCTV because the best way of defending that extension is to trick as much of that hard breach utility as possible. If you can remove all of the Selma charges, which actually are not in this lobby at all, that would be all the ex-Cairo pellets of Ralphie, you pretty much nerf the attacking lineup altogether. Now, it's going to be a Maverick trick on the spa wall, and Exo is going to start to crack that open now. But if he's only able to open up this wall, again, that's going to severely nerf the attacking lineup of PDHM because you're going to have to deal with this mirror window. And I hate to say it, the Maverick Torch won't be the answer to your prayers, but no utility on that bedroom, bathroom wall means Oni is forced to rotate away, opened up for free. This is a perfect position for PDHM to be in.
Yep, really easy there from Raphael. Last name. I don't know what his last name is. I just know Rafi's his nickname. So they're able to take Oni out of bathroom. That's pretty huge, but there's a contingency. Oni's got this shield to play by now. He can pretty much deny anyone trying to prone or walk into gym. You deny anyone taking bathroom control. At least, sort of. He can't deny bathroom itself, but he can deny them walking out of it. But as I say that, a well-placed nade from the attack will take down the shield, and Oni will thus be a little bit more exposed. He's very wary about this window. Someone will go on drone. Oni could definitely jump out if he chooses to, but he'll get spotted. He'll open up Oh, he'll open the hatch, but right as he does, Exo catches the side of his head. It's the opening kill for the Maverick. Down goes Oni. Down goes a C4 operator. I mean, likely he was going to be playing that from below, which is why he ended up opening the hatch, but you deny that from him. You deny a very important piece of anti-plant utility. You've got gas canisters, you still got a C4 from Spiker, but as I say that, Spiker also playing downstairs, goes down to Prompted, just kind of crouch walking in. Exo now inside a bathroom, trying to take control away from X24, just in the middle of the bomb site, and thus he will, but as he walks out, he's collapsed upon by Adapt. Luckily, there's coverage from the window. It's just JJ. 1 versus 4. OT is on the table, and there we go. WAV finishes it off. Round 12 goes to PDHM. We're going to need overtime.
And just a reminder of how overtime works here in SCS.
It's infinite.
It's infinite. It's not that lame. Up to round 15, whoever wins 2 rounds, doesn't matter if they're an attack or defense, it all is lost. But here, in infinite overtime or unlimited overtime, it is exactly what it sounds like. It will be infinite or unlimited. You have to win 2 rounds in a row, which means you have to win your attacking stint and your defensive stint. If you fail to do so, you move on to the next bracket of overtime, and you repeat until you're able to do that. And that can be quite the distance. Now, in traditional overtime, whoever starts on defense usually has the advantage. This case, there's really no advantage. It just comes down to the good strategies. And let's be honest, PDHM's attacking strategy on Gym Bedroom is phenomenal. Project Neo, now that they're in overtime, they're hopefully never going to bring that out. Try to win rounds that is going to be on their basement defense as well as their cash CCTV defense, because that's looked flawless for them so far.
I wish these were 4-2 halves. Because now, moving into OT, we can't definitively be like, hey, you know, it was defender-sided, so that means Neo gets the advantage. Or, hey, it was attacker-sided, so PDHM had the advantage. Nope. It was 3-3 even, so who the hell knows what's going to happen? What we do know, though, is that it's going to be Church first for Neo, an advantageous bomb site for them at the very least. They won it both times, running that Tachanka, which X24 will keep doing. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's working. Spiker seeming to maybe wanting to play a little bit more aggressive. I don't know if he's going to be roaming or not. I don't think he should, because the turtle strat has worked every single time. If I'm PDHM, I want to switch up the push. I don't really know why they keep going for that main push, because the Chanka has just been there the whole time, and they can't bust through Church. But you know, maybe we'll see some sort of adjustment. They are droning out blue, so that's a good sign. Maybe we'll have WAV as well as Exo push over there, get that hatch open, destroy any of the barbed wire, and Malusi Banshees covering the secret stairs. So already a decent adjustment. We'll just see if it's yet again going to be a Moto main blue push, or if it's going to be a kitchen drop blue pinch, maybe even with some dirt pressure. But Moto hatch has been opened. They're setting up for it looks like the same execute. They are destroying underneath. Okay, they are getting kitchen. They are getting dirt. So maybe this is the adjustment.
You have to show pretty much that you can enter in from every single angle. Now, if PDHM did that, their crossfires would not be as powerful as they desire. But again, it's all about a game of poker. If you can bait your opponents into thinking, we're going to do a B-bomb hatch drop as well as a dirt tunnel push, and then you do a central stairs execute and a blue stairs execute, Project Neo might be caught off guard. They're going to be too focused on one lane, and on the other side of the lane, they're going to be challenged from. But again, PDHM is a very capable roster. They're a very crafty roster, and right now, they're just going to continue utilizing this vertical play. They're going to find these opening kills, and Neo is going to lose once again on that endeavor. Oni is going to fall. Sitting 1-9, it's not a good day for him.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Oni. He's not really had a lot of... Who was that? Exo that got the first kill, I believe? Nope, it was Raffi. He'll actually get a second. Thank you, in-game UI, for letting me know. Down goes the Chanka. No use out of that. Watching Secret Stairs. Zofia gets one. Finally, a first frag from Adapt. Is he going to be able to 4K again to win Church? It's a 2 versus 4 this time. Post-plant, higher stakes. Less time to work with. He'll get extremely lit from that wall, and in comes the swing from the defender. JJ goes down, and there's Subarctic with the finisher.
And that's exactly what we were highlighting. doing something that wasn't the previous attempts on basement. You change up your pressure points, and you're going to force the defenders to start to cramp up. Now, PDHM, after winning their first round on attack, this is a good position when they move over to defense. It's going to be a cache CCTV showing for them. And I'm going to be honestly a little bit critical if we see that double mirror window placed on CCTV breach. And that's
I
going to be the
swear to
change
God.
they needed. It's going to be Gym Bedroom. Both these rosters have struggled with this, but again, Project Neo, they were unable to defend it. And is it going to be PDHM turn to repeat that storyline?
PDHM were successful on their defense of this site. Important
That's
to remember.
true.
That was, but that was when Prompted was running the Aruni. Interestingly enough, he won't be bringing that back. He'll be on the mute instead. And we see another drastic change from Neo. The Monty. If anyone's going to be playing Monty on the squad, it's going to be Spiker.
Yeah,
on
he's
cash?
scary with it.
On cash, really good. On defense, still okay depending on where you put him. Jim, though, I don't know. I don't see a lot of successful Monty pushes on Jim. This will be, he'll likely be used to help clear out cash pretty early on because Neo have not been able to do that successfully just yet, which is, something we definitely noticed. I assume that's where Spiker's going to go. Like, he's going to push up rafters. He's going to jump in. He's going to make sure that those defenders inside of cash don't feel comfortable. Maybe flush him out, make him rotate into the guns of his teammates. That's the only use I see for the site on Monty is for the roam clear. Maybe he can help facilitate a plant. If PDHM are smart, they'll play from below with the C4. They have 3 of them, so I can only assume that's what they're prepped for. So the Monty could definitely find an explosive surprise from down under. But of course, we'll have to see. Already, Neo are going to try to push in a garage. Sledge right there and waiting, but Raffi has bullet holes. You've also got Wav down below, ready to collapse on Adapt as soon as he starts to move in. They won't drone down below. Adapt will take some damage laterally. That might be enough of a distraction for him not to check for Wav. He'll creep up the staircase, and that is an easy kill for the Jaeger. Starting off good for PDHM.
That's such a frustrating kill to see happen, Crow. I mean, how often has Oil Pit been used by both of these teams? Pretty much every single defense. That's one of the most common angles in this game, and you always have to, at bare minimum, face check it, but preferably at least throw a drone there. It's not going to take that much time to drone it, maybe 1 to 2 seconds, because you have to drone up the rafters anyways. Now, Subarctic, he finds himself in quite a pickle. There's Spiker and the Monty saying hello to him, while actually allowing the rotation of members of Project Neo deeper into CCTV.
Oh.
Wav on the flank, though. This could be the spear and the sign of the attackers of Project Neo. They have to be true. They have to land their shots. Ralphie goes to the swing, dishing out a little bit of damage to Oni, but he hasn't been felled yet. Wav on the swing, though. There's his challenge, but he doesn't connect with anything. It's all about taking gunfights, and X24 will find the first or second.
So, Wav, unfortunately, whiffs his shots on Oni. He dips out of rafters and right into the waiting arms of the Zofia, who is ready for the cutoff. 4 versus 4. A minute left as PDHM have completely vacated the cash side of things. It looks like the Monty, despite losing Adapt, is still working out. I mean, there's really no way for the Malusi or the Wamai to fight it, and especially the Malusi, Raffi wants to preserve his life so he can play below for the C4. He's got it ready and waiting. It's pre-placed right by the double door, but I don't know if anyone from Neo are actually going to push that. Spiker is already in the site. He's already inside of Master, tucked in the corner. Basically, what he's doing is he's just a big mobile drone. There's a mirror window on Gold Vault for him to contest. I believe the other one probably going to be over towards the bathroom side of things. The Logi wall has been opened. Oh, in comes Spiker. This could be a huge kill. The C4 goes out as Raffi's rotated upstairs, and he goes huge! A triple kill for the Malusi. What a brilliant play from the Frenchie. And it's just JJ. 1 versus 4. Unfortunately, Raffi can't find his 4K. He'll get shut down. That's 1 kill for JJ, but it's still a 1v3. He'll just draw a smiley face in the green box. Ashen moment, except significantly less controversial. And he'll just wait out the clock. He knows the round is lost. PDHM will take round 14 off of time, and we will only need the standard overtime. It's 8-6 for PDHM.
Bro, you said it best right there. An incredible play, a genius play, and a perfect read. Where else would the Monty go? Sure, he can sit in the corner, act as a human drone, but that's not applying pressure. The only way to apply pressure will be the extension into Logi. Project Neo knew that all too well, but they didn't dot
Wow,
their I's, they
18.
didn't cross their T's, and they ended up making the fatal mistake. I have to say, that Monty worked out more or less well for Project Neo, but in the end, they didn't sharpen their sword enough. PDHM, they'll take their opponent's map pick 8-6.
Yeah, and Adapt, I mean, Adapt finished 18-9. Being able to shut him down as early as they did, huge props to WAV. That was a round changer. That was huge. I mean, he was one of the only members of Neo who were actually shooting back. The other one, I think, being X24. And I mean, I need to highlight it again. Rafi's play at the end of that round. Throws the C4, pre-places it, and then rotates up himself into gold. He's safe. He can play off the prox alarm. The Monty triggers it. Rafi lets him walk a little bit more forward. Down he goes and then swings the rotate, lines up 2 in construction. I didn't know Frenchies could play that smart, but hey, my good friend Rafi just proved me wrong. I've been casting that guy for, I mean, again, same amount of time as JJ since I started, so I'm glad to see him finding success on this roster. I can't wait to see him in Challenger League. Looks like PDHM definitely started to bring out the stops towards the end of that map, and it was, again, we saw it in the beginning. It was a 3-round streak from PDHM, 3-round streak from Neo to tie it up, went back and forth in the second half, but to finish things off, another 3-round streak for PDHM. It was a much-needed 3 points. They extend their lead over Vale, and they are no longer in last place in Group B.
And you know, the way PDHM played in map 1, it was controlled, it was mature. Again, going back to week 1, that cafe game, it was personally my favorite game to watch because I love to see plays of players flying out windows, taking gunfights.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, Siege, again, like we're talking about, is about utility. It's about your strategy, and it's about where you're playing on the map. And PDHM, they had the mastery. They did everything so well. They were aggressive when they need to be aggressive. They were passive when they need to be passive. And they knew when and how to use their utility. You keep talking about that brilliant Nitro Cell because it's exactly what it was. I mean, that outlines the entire Clubhouse story in one play. Good plays, as well as good mechanical skill. Honestly, great for both rosters, but also some of these players in the lobby on both teams did struggle to find the scoreboard. So that could be a saving grace for both these teams as we move into map 2, which is Villa.
You know, we got to highlight Oni going 1-10, I think, at the end of that. It was not a good showing at all. I mean, even WAV was 1-7 at some point, and then he ended up finishing 6-8. Like, effectively, he got 5 kills in the span of 1 death on the defense. I mean, that was absolutely massive from him. So PDHM all around, definitely picking it up. I think all around the board a little bit more consistent. I mean, we have the total scoreboard here. Oni with a 0.36. That's a little bit of a yikes. On the other side, on the flip side of the equation, though, Prompted 15-7. I mean, he's the only one on his roster that was in double digits, but 78% cost. You still got Exo going 9-7, 71% cost. Subarctic on 9-8. Rafi, although he was -3, massive play. He got that big 3K. WAV as well, starting things off, taking out the top fragger of Adapt at the very beginning. 1.47 rating from him. Really massive. I think the best showing we've seen from him all season so far. He's been kind of slow. X24 as well. That's kind of what you expect. But I mean, all around, just way better for PDHM. I mean, even that Subarctic, who was on Thatcher, Hard Breach, Smoke, all of a sudden, he's on Ash 4-0 on entry. What a performance from him.
And if we look at the entry stats, it actually is more or less the same story across both of these teams. And PDHM only has 1 more entry kill, which means that's not the problem or where these rounds were lost for Project Neo, because they were going toe-to-toe. It's just, I think, and I hate to say this, the scoreboard that dictates it. I mean, look at PDHM. They're all more or less in the same ballpark. And unfortunately, Project Neo, there are some outliers. Some good outliers, because there can be on that scale, but sometimes you would need your entire roster to be synergized, playing together. And, you know, there's a stumbling for Project Neo that just never came to be the full picture for them.
Yeah, so PDHM showing up Neo on Neo's map pick. I think that's the most important takeaway from this, is that this was Neo's map. This was the map that they were supposed to win. And now moving on to Villa, a map that PDHM are likely more confident on. This might just be a 2-0 unless Neo can show us, the same prowess they did against a trolling TSM. But until then, we've got a quick break to get to. We're to set up the map, get the teams acclimated, give them a little bit of a break. Give us a little bit of a break. But until then, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with map 2 of Villa between PDHM and Neo just after this.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. We're still in week 3. We haven't gone anywhere, and it's still PDHM versus Project Neo. However, PDHM, they would find themselves victorious on Clubhouse, taking that 8-6. Now, that was Neo's map pick, and that is not a good sign for that U18 roster going against the, the Challenger League roster. Almost promoted them to Pro League. They haven't yet earned that accolade, but eventually they will.
Maybe. Possible. I don't know how likely that's going to be with, teams like Parabellum in their group, but,
You believe.
never lose faith. I do like the players on PDHM. So like you said, so got one more map of the day, and this final map is going to be Villa, PDHM's pick. That really plays out very differently than Clubhouse, where the only similarities are that hard breachers are powerful and Thatcher is often banned. Still a little bit, it still falls into the strategic category along with Clubhouse, though it's far less linear. There's a lot more, wacky stuff you can do on Villa. Though, we did see a lot of new stuff on Clubhouse from both these teams. I definitely have to thank them for that. That was definitely an interesting Clubhouse. Definitely unorthodox, to say the least. Hopefully, Villa will be the same as well.
So if we were to put on our tinfoil hats for a second, what is the best way at defending planes and games, which is Aviator, on, Villa? Well, you basically send all of your utility down range, and the attacker is trying to go for a plant in the gun vault. We saw the Lord Chachanka in play. Smoke grenades can propagate through that wall, but if you have a Chachanka over by like the U-bar, for example, and you start to do, some Kobe's and bank it off the wall or the ceiling, you in theory could deny that plant. So is that an opportunity that we're going to see from these rosters? You can also apply that exact same logic when you go to actually any bomb site in this map. You can use those grenades as just a way to deny plant from a safe distance.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious to see if Neo will decide to keep bringing that to Chanka, or maybe they both of these teams bring a Rooney as well. They were not shy to, or PDHM weren't shy to do that. First ban will of course be Thatcher.
Never seen a Thatcher ban in my life.
Yeah, well, you're a goddamn liar.
That's first for everything.
All right, probably Ace. I would assume Ace.
Well, it really depends on what hard breach you want. It's all range hard breach is crucial, but we have to keep in mind, the Selma charges, they arc in midair. So if you want to land them exactly where you want, be ready to do some math. And, in a game like Siege, you don't really have the opportunity to sit back, bring out your protractor and your calculator and, predict where exactly that charge is going to land. Those X-Kyro pellets, they land exactly where you shoot them, assuming that they don't get, shot in midair or destroyed.
Yep, and then, of course, you got the Mira. It's Mira. I don't really need to go into detail. The last one's Cade. You don't want Cade up with Thatcher ban, obviously. So, ban's done. They're stock standard. Nothing interesting to talk about at all. It's going to be PDHM starting on the attack. I think a lot of people consider Villa to... it was leaning attacker-sided, but I think a lot of people are of the mindset that it started to shift the other way once again. It's going to be Trophy Statuary up first for Neo. Standard operator lineup. It looks like X24 is going to be back on the good old Vigil rather than the Tachanka. Meanwhile, on the attack, Exo's on hard support with the Ace prompted, still on Ash. I love that. He was cooking up over on Clubhouse, and Raffi will be his duo. So prompted, Raffi, and Web, all pretty much going to be playing that entry with Exo as the only support operator. That's definitely interesting. No flank watch at all. No Nomad.
I was so eager to see the Cali, which is a cumbersome operator to see the least. But I mean, she's fun to watch. She has a bolt action sniper rifle, and you can pretend like you're in FaZe Clan for once. So that's always a plus in my book. And actually, speaking about, Cali charges, we haven't actually seen the new gadget, or I guess technically the new pistol be brought out, the Gon 6, which is this weird hybrid of the Cali Lance as well as an impact grenade. And it doesn't have, a big explosion like an Ash charge would. It has more of an explosion similar to what the Cali Lance is, but it's great for removing any type of roadblock in your way. Whether or not that's a deployable shield, it is a Malusi Wubwump, maybe it's a defender that is sitting at 10 HP. You can use it in just about any scenario you want.
Yeah, maybe it's me.
Yeah, you can also shoot Harrison with it. It's also a plus.
Oh, no one spawned ruins. X24 can't bullet full spawn peek that. It's gonna be your average master clear. Horizontal here from PDHM. There is somebody in kitchen dining. Is that like a Jaeger? Dude, I just saw a silhouette. Okay, Spiker is now down below, as a matter of fact. Neo are extremely spread out on this roam. Wav has not droned this. He has no clue. The attackers will start to clear, of course, because that's what you do. You make sure there's no one downstairs. Make sure that there's no utility on the wall. You do have an IQ, so you can go ahead and just, destroy anything that's on those walls, which it's probably just a mute jammer, so that's easy as hell. Spiker's still lurking down below. Wav can definitely fall victim here to the flank by the Malusi. Start to walk up. I don't know if there's a drone watching this. Here comes the peek. He's swinging around. There's the drone. There's one sitting right in front of him by Tetris. Looks like it's still going to be Wav. No, it's actually Prompted. And no, yeah, look at the way he's playing. They have no clue. That's an easy first pick for Spiker, and down goes your Ash.
Spiker runs away after dishing out enough damage. And, you know, our observer, Max, he always says, I never get to look down in the basement. I always forget about this part on Villa. But Spiker hasn't. He's about to find himself a free second kill. He potatoes and almost misses the day. A near flick shot to kill him, but thankfully he was able to collect those bullets. He summarizes it, not the best, because he's still a phenomenal player. He's now collected himself a triple kill, and it's all about the Spiker show. Apply as much pressure as possible. Even drops it, never mind. He knows he's on a heater, and now PDHM forced to fight the remainder of their round with a large man disadvantage by -3.
Spiker, the woman, showing us that girls can play. 3K in the round right now. He's looking for another one. Exo hugging that master doorway after he's gotten the breach open. X24 holding firm, though. Easy headshot for him. Subarctic. 1 versus 5. 40 seconds left. He'll just hold downstairs. He knows that this round is pretty much unwinnable, undoable, impossible. He'll just try to kind of chill. Probably talk with his team. Maybe even get to pad his stats. Who knows? But the most important part is that this is valuable. It's kind of like a pseudo timeout, as they always say. You can talk with your team, you can chill, figure out what the hell went wrong, because this is most certainly not how you wanted your first round to go.
Well, I think this dead body downstairs in the basement summarizes what went so poorly for PDHM. Where was their flank drones? They were around. We saw one in pantry, but it wasn't being occupied. That's the most important lesson. If you're going to put utility there, you may as well actually use that utility. And I've been critical of rosters, you know, bringing out Nomad air jabs and just placing them on the flank, and then them, you know, assuming that they're forever going to be safe. They don't have to be flanked. You know, the air jab gets shot, and then all of a sudden they're angry that they got flanked. Well, that's because you need redundancy in your lineups. You need redundancy in your utility. And there we go. Now with Nomad in play, you couple that with your air jabs, you couple that with a flank drone, and it becomes a lot more difficult to be able to do the play that Spiker had. You know, we can look at PDHM. You know, they started on Villa. That's their mulligan. Moving forward, hopefully they don't constantly make those mistakes.
Yeah, Rafi's moving back to the flank watch. Wav back on the tree. Trading French entries. French trees.
10 out of
Between
10.
Wav and Rafi. And Neo will go down to dining, avoiding AVG at least for now. Of course, they have Pulse, they've got Mute, they've got Mozzie, they've got plenty of C4 on the board. They've got Castle as well. He'll be setting up upstairs. Actually, no, okay. Never mind. They're not setting upstairs. We've seen Neo do this before. Instead, what they will do is they will spread horizontally. They'll go for a living room hold. The Castle to help facilitate that. Oni, of course, playing down below with the C4 and the heartbeat sensor, calling out for his team. They've got to rotate into the carpet hall as well. It's a very intriguing hold, and one that, if PHM read into, could potentially be easy to dismantle. We'll have to see. One of the big drawbacks of this defense, however, is that you have such little utility and manpower dedicated to the upstairs that if PDHM don't decide to push right into your roam and just go upstairs and start hammering away, your anchors could be susceptible to a few free kills. X24 and JJ, though, they're upstairs to ensure that doesn't happen, at least not for free.
So we actually see a split take currently coming out for PDHM. It's going to be half their roster pushing from the north and half their roster pushing in from the south. So that extended roam that Project Neo has on that first floor will provide at least information. We can't guarantee that nitro cells will collect, but with that cardiac sensor, it can always be an asset. Spiker, he has his nitro, and one nitro will actually be sent already downrange, not collecting anything. It's so crucial that you use every single one. Actually, nitro cells haven't blown up at all. Those are flat charges of the ash being put on the ground to take the gunfight straightly to Project Neo. X24 works his way up the stairwell, and he will fall back down as his lifeless body hits the deck. A little bit too aggressive, but fortunately for him, he didn't bring out the nitro cell in favor of an impact.
That was just kind of a weird perspective thing there. Didn't fully check the red landing. Instead, looked upstairs. His gun blocked Prompted, and that's an easy first kill for the Ash. In fact, there's a second one for him as well as Spiker goes down. But As you had mentioned, X24 brought impacts instead of C4. Spiker's C4 had already blown up and it didn't find anything, so he'll pay the ultimate price for whiffing. There's another kill, though. Wav is inside of the downstairs bathroom, and as a Dab tries to rotate up the red stairs, he's caught. He's shot in the back. Excellent kill for Wav. Now it's a 5 versus 2. PDHM have really turned things around from the previous attack, and they've got this upstairs control. They not only have the horizontal, but they've got the vertical as well. Everything is turning up PDHM right now. Prompted going ahead and putting his breach charges down and blowing up the floor above Oni. Or, well, trying to blow up the floor above Oni. Oni is instead not inside of kitchen, or not inside of dining, but instead inside of Memo. JJ, very separated from his teammate, though, sort of around the staircase. I think he's like, yeah, he's like right at the bottom of the Astro stairs. He'll push through mud, though. Nearly catch the back of Wav. No, he looks away! Dude. That timing. That is so unfortunate. There's one kill for Oni. Is it going to be enough? Nope. PDHM, they take their first attack fairly dominantly.
Well, at least Oni is going to tie his score in the previous map. That's a step in the right direction for him.
Let's go, Oni!
Yeah,
Eat up!
Always look on the bright side of life, Crow. You know, it's all about those little victories that you win. And I guess for Project Neo, that was their win, even though they didn't win round 2. It was stemming off their aggression. When you build a strategy, use it. Don't just start to, run up stairwells because you realize that your attackers whose responsibility to hold that top floor is being pressured. You use that rotation as an avenue to stop PDHM from rotating down the red stairs. And what is concerning to me is Project Neo heard all those breaching charges going up above them. They knew that there was members of PDHM sitting and landing, but if you take a gunfight like X24 did, that at best I would call a 50-50 gunfight. And my rule of thumb is if you're a defender, you always need to be putting yourself in 80-20 gunfights, which means you have an 80% chance of winning. And let's go back to round 1. Spiker did that 3 separate times, putting himself in 80-20 gunfights where he was almost certain to win because PDHM had no information. But just about every single roster, particularly T2 rosters, are putting flank drones on all the stairwells. Why? Stop X24 for doing the shenanigans he just attempted.
See how Neo do on their AVG defense. Avoiding the site until they have to play it, essentially. I don't know why, but my RTMP is vastly ahead of VMix, so I will be muting it for now. Hopefully that gets fixed in the future. It's a master side clear from PDHM, first things foremost, just because, that's what you do. No one from Neo are actually contesting this, at least I don't believe so. I don't see any silhouettes over here. So this is going to be pretty much free control for PDHM. Next step is 90. Next step is opening maybe either the vault wall or trying to push in with the study pinch. Either way, it's pretty much free for PDHM. Really, the only thing they got to worry about is going to be Spiker holding this shield and Oni down below playing with that C4.
So with control of the north, now it comes on PDHM to start to rotate their attackers over towards the south. And with a deployable shield at 90, that means it's probably in your best interest to put one of your attackers over at 90 as well, to fight fire with fire and to initiate either the flashbang dump or, more importantly, the explosive device to deal with it. But Spiker's position here, you're actually going to have to relegate 2 of your attacking troops to be able to complete that task. Because if you're at 90, you're going to not be able to destroy that because Ash has lost all of her flashbangs. Now, Wav, to his credit, will be able to do that, but since he's already expended the majority of his utility, it won't be an option. X24 is going to be pressured by multiple members of PDHM who are flying out through lamp. Ralphie will be the loser of that exchange as he flies himself straight to death.
Your Nomad now gone, first opening pick for X24, so 5v4 for Project Neo, but Wav is quick to even it out as Adapt goes down. That's a C4 operator off the board, and for a Nomad who likely has already put her air jabs down, I would take that trade if I'm PDHM. In comes the push, trying to go through the skull doorway is Prompted an Exo, diffuser in hand. They've got smokes to play with, but Exo will drop diffuser and likely join Wav over by the study presence. There's someone holding a shotgun. Very close 90-degree angle, but it doesn't matter. X24, I don't know how he just killed Wav. I guess it was through the wall? Through that little, I don't know if he was prone or what. Either way, great shot from X24, taking out one of those study players. Good thing Exo's here to replace him, but I'm not sure if he's very aware of where Oni is sitting, especially now that the breach is going down and Oni is not shooting it. Only 25 seconds remaining. A nade goes in, but it will miss X24. Oni's still playing close. Doesn't look like Exo is quite aware of the position. This could be an easy free kill for the Mute. And there it is. X24, actually. It's him. In sight with a triple now. On track for the ace. Prompted gets the kill on Oni, but Spiker is there with the response. Subarctic finds him. It's a 1 versus 2. With only 5 seconds remaining. Neo, they know they can play passive. Playing passive is what they do well, but Subarctic will fall prey to the crossfires.
That's
JJ, it's the last one.
Exactly what we needed in that round. A perfect showing by Project Neo. And PDHM, to their credit, they made the rotation over to the study balcony, but after that, they almost seemed lost in their attacking execute. They weren't quite sure what they wanted to do. And I think their confusion was the fact that multiple walls of study were left open. Now, we see this strategy every so often. However, the most time it's at head level holes instead of the footholds. Because the idea is if the defenders open up this long line of sight, the attackers, well, they can utilize it against the defense. And when you're out on the study balcony, you look straight into the gun vault, which is one of the best positions to be in when you're a defender, because you can swing and challenge every single angle. They're pushing in for the north door over by Zombie. Excellent. You can swing that. They're pushing in from the west door. You can challenge that. As the same thing can be said for the south door of study. But when it's foot level holes, PDHM was like, do we just mag dump it and make a better hole so we can challenge defenders? Do we go for the hard breach, which they ended up doing? But that indecision, like you can see the gears in their heads starting to turn, and it didn't turn in the right direction.
Yeah, PDHM really struggled in that round, especially because of X24 getting a huge triple kill from inside the site, just shooting through those open walls like you were talking about. Shutting down one of, or shutting down WAV, and later on Exo. Now moving back onto Trophy, a site that PDHM were unsuccessful in attacking, thanks to Spiker roaming downstairs, getting a 3K as Malusi. I assume PDHM will be a little bit more thorough with their drones, and they even have the Nomad to boot, so Spiker might not be able to flank as freely, but it's still something PDHM have to keep in mind. They'll again start to drone down to the basement. This time, they have a pre-placed drone there. I'm not sure if they're going to be placing an air jab, but they've got a pre-placed drone there anyway. The first kill will go to Adapt. Prompted down very early. This is a good dining hold already, and it's another one for Adapt, a double kill. Looking for a third. There's one right around Tetris. He can hear him. C4 goes out, and he catches Subarctic looking away. Adapt with 3 kills within the first minute, almost single-handedly shutting down this round. Exo will finally get the refrag, but in a 2 versus 4, it might be too little too late.
This round is perfect for Project Neo. They're just playing their strategy, and PDHM on these solo entries are dying one by one. Where was the drone economy? It might have been lost due to the mute Mozzie as they're just trying to push in from the same direction. And I was getting concerned by the way Spiker is playing over by the China door. Super aggressive, and he had great coverage from his teammates. Spiker will be credited with that final kill. And that's exactly what we needed from Project Neo. Another great round for them. And PDHM, they need to identify the exact hold that Project Neo is using and not just play straight into their hand. But something that is concerning me, Crow, is the fact that a lot of the rounds of Project Neo that they're winning are off 3 or 4Ks.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem right now, is that their win condition is not consistent. It's been off of those really big heads-up plays that, I mean, you can't reasonably rely on to happen every single round. We're moving back on Dining, where PDHM had actually won this attack thanks to a fantastic roam clear and a quick flush at the top floor. Looks like Neo might be going for something fairly similar. PDHM are, of course, going to be ready for it, so hopefully Neo don't expect this to be an easy round.
Castle barricades, again, we saw them in the past. We're going to see them again. It's all about denying insertion points. I just want Project Neo to maybe think about not necessarily the utility that they're bringing out, but how they are conducting themselves, all 5 players, where they're challenging, who they're challenging, and most importantly, maybe those default cameras. Because it seems basic, but if you have a default camera 90, you should just be flicking through it, and you can see exactly how many members of PDHM are at least showing themselves up front on that attack. And that means, all right, we're not going to be able to go for a red stairs flank simply because there are just so many darn actors up here. I might get refragged. I'd be better off putting myself in a different position on that first floor. When PDHM actually goes for their execute, they're not going to have enough Dronacon, enough utility to be able to even deal with me. Wow, that's quite a swift execute.
right.
Goodbye, Spiker. He was trying to rotate away as he heard that swift execute, but he will not be able to rotate enough.
Great first frag from Prompted. Zofio looking for more as people are starting to challenge Connector. It's JJ on the Jaeger, supported by X24 on the Malusia. The last 2 left with the upstairs hold. Only 1 C4 on the side of Neo this time. Spiker may have had one, but of course... Spiker did have one, but of course it will be left unused. And WAV will be able to take out X24, one of those top floor roamers. So, a really long angle being played. Actually, that was through the connector wall. Great pick from WAV. 5 versus 3 now. JJ trying to find a response, but he'll get cut down to just below, or just above 50 HP, and immediately dive off into carpet. Oni will retreat back into the site as JJ moves into living to establish that horizontal control, but now PDHM, very early in the round, have 2 picks, and now have the vertical.
What's always frustrating is when you're making a talking point about a team not playing super aggressive and all of a sudden they play super aggressive and just immediately die. You have to learn your lessons from previous rounds, and you have to be constantly analyzing yourself. When you're a player, alive or dead, what is working for you? What isn't working for you? How can I play this position better? Like a great example here is going to be JJ. Playing over by Big Ben, he can hear the vertical play above him. He's not going to get aggressive now. He's going to try to utilize all that Swiss cheese that is happening on the roof above him as a possible way of getting a kill. But he's going to retreat deeper back into China, sniping away a drone for his trouble. And PDHM, if they want to reconfirm JJ's position, they're going to have to send another drone down range.
There's only 50 seconds left now for PDHM. Neo holding firm as Exo takes a couple shots from that UMP. Smoke grenades start to go out, facilitating this push. Exo walks in. He's going to try and get that plant down by the doorway as JJ finds Raffi, but there's a response from Prompted and WAV both. Double kill from WAV, and as the castle swings the planter, he's shut down by Prompted. 3K for the Ash, and PDHM take their second attack.
A good read by PDHM. Initially, I'm not sure Spiker died off drone coverage or if they just heard Spiker rotating down the main stairs, but that's exactly what they needed to have happen. And everything that Project Neo had upstairs was to delay the push into planes and games. There was a castle barricade there, and that was forcing the classical hallway to be the main path that PDHM was pushing. The reason behind that was it was to grab kills with those nitro cells. But as soon as one of your primary nitro cell wielders fell, where was the change from Project Neo? Well, the change was to take gunfights, and that wasn't the answer to their problems. Once again, the downstairs bomb site of Kitchen, the tertiary site, will not work for Project Neo. Now, fortunately for them, they don't have to return to this bomb site again until we go into overtime. Now, that's a big if, though.
You're right. It is a big if, but if we have a repeat of Clubhouse, maybe. Back to AVG for Project Neo, where they had effectively shut down the pinch from PDHM. Good first frag from X24, followed up by another 2 holding off Study. From there, PDHM had to push into the bottlenecks. Down they went. Got a slightly different defense, though, this time. X24 not on the Wamai, he's on the Malusi, and Oni picking up Valkyrie. I believe this is the first time we've seen Valkyrie on this map, if I'm not mistaken, so she's definitely a welcome change. Project Neo, definitely not going to be playing the same way they did in the last round, not with those open study walls at least. They've got more pressure over towards the master side of things. It looks like they want to facilitate that roam and make the master side clear a little bit harder for PDHM.
Now, that Valkyrie cam that we just saw on the south side of Master, I don't know if that's the best camera to have. It's a great cam. It provides a lot of free information, but it's one of those legacy cameras. It's been in the game for as long as I remember. And what's unique about Rainbow Six Siege is you run a strategy for the longest time and it will go away. Wow. That's also an old strategy if we want to highlight it. Yeeting the nitro cell through laundry. It knocks on the front door of PDHM. And what on earth was that abomination we just witnessed? An incredible shot, to say the least. Did not see that one coming by any means.
Ow. There was a refrag from Prompted, but Adapt was swift to sit him down. That was impressive. That was an impressive pre-fire, to say the least. Now we're in a 4 versus 3. Yet again, Project Neo in the lead by a single man. They don't have any more C4 though, so if you're PDHM, you can kind of breathe a sigh of relief at that. Subarctic down below, trying to get some nades or any sort of vertical pressure in. Exo rotating over towards Study to try and maybe get his hard breach down, as there are people inside of main that could deny it, however. I assume Raffi will join him inside of Study. At this point, this is kind of your only opportunity of attack. You have to kind of diverge from your original plan over towards the master clear and reassess the situation. Long angle being held by Adapt onto the window. He'll take some shots at Raffi, reveal that he's still playing top main, but that should be assumed by the members of PDHM. In comes the burn, and Raffi will use that flash to stun himself in, and now he's taken that Study control. Sets up air jabs, shoots the black eye, make sure there's nothing watching him, as Exo will come in as well, and just swing the aviator door, I guess, from Study. He won't die. He won't take anyone else either. No harm, no foul, but Oni definitely takes a buttload from down below, thanks to that nade. Nearly catches him, but luckily for him, the nade was just ever so slightly mistimed, and he'll survive with just 1 point of HP. That's going to definitely be a headache for PDHM. That Banshee sticking on the wall. They don't actually have any utility to deal with it. And oh no, the Sledge doesn't know that Adapt is hugging this corner. Out comes a gas grenade. It'll flush the Sledge off the angle. And Raffi goes down to the headshot of Oni. It's a 4 versus 2. It's just Exo and Subarctic. This is looking like it's going to be a 4-2 half. Subarctic is just getting delayed more and more by the gas. Here comes a smoke grenade to facilitate the push, but Adapt takes down Subarctic, Exo's only teammate, and the facilitator of the pinch. It's a 1 versus 4. 5 seconds left. He at least gets one closing kill, but as he swings around, he actually won't get finished off by the Malusi. Instead, it'll be the clock. Project Neo take round number 6 and a 4-2 defensive split.
Well, Chrome, you're talking about before Villa started that we've gone away from it truly being attacker-sided. It was only attacker-sided by like 3% in the NAL stage 2, but it's still attacker-sided. But today, Project Neo has proved, at least in this series, that it's going to remain defender-sided. Maybe temporary, maybe for the near future. We're going to have to monitor for the foreseeable future. PDHM, after losing those opening duels, we never really saw them adapt to anything that was happening. They just kind of said, all right, well, we're down 3 men. We're just going to kind of run in through our basic. We're going to apply our crossfire from Study. We're trying to do some type of zombie door pressure, and it just never came together. It was almost like they just didn't know that their teammates were dead. They're just trying to do the same old story because they're breaking down the deployable shield, and they're going to have to spin the Selma charges on it. It just wasn't the coordinated team that we've seen PDHM execute, at least here on Villa as well as at Clubhouse, but their executes are going to become a little bit easier. All they need to do is read a piece of paper, their strategies, since they're now on defense.
See how PDHM handle it. Interesting that they're going AVG first after Neo had avoided it until the final side of their rotation. Project Neo, of course, running the exact same lineup that PDHM were on their attack. PDHM, though, diverging a little bit, taking all the same operators with the exception of one. They'll have the Maestro of Exo. I mean, everything's pretty standard here. They're not going for... Oh, no. Are they? Okay. They've got a little bit of the Study wall open down below. So the reason why you open it down below instead of head holes is because when you give them head holes, you give the attackers a chance to challenge as they move into Study. If you give them foot holes, they can't really challenge the prone without exposing themselves to an already held angle. So it's safer for the defense, harder to challenge for the attack.
Something that we haven't yet seen are any Goyo shields, and Nitro Cells also seem to be the bane of both attacking rosters as they try to clear in for Master. Now, Adapt is down but not out. He's on concrete, so Nitro Cell won't be able to confirm him, at least at this point. And he's going to be brought back up more or less for free for 20 HP. Now, that is still a dangerous position to be in. That is one bullet will kill you, even if it's through a wall. So he's going to have to be very careful with every engagement that he takes in the future. Now, being the primary flank watch, you do not want to lose him early on. So him being rezzed, now you can place all of those Nomad air jabs on all the door frames, all of the stairwells that you don't want members of PDHM to retake. And also, I guess if there is a silver lining, you can now just relegate him pretty much to where he is and just, you know, we're putting cameras on the stairwells. It is your job to bring out your phone and flip through it.
Yeah, a lot of times having someone on dedicated flank watch cams is a nice thing to have. And Subarctic will get the first kill. Down goes X24. That's your Ash. Not the biggest deal in the world, but as we've said time and time again, she does bring a useful bit of utility to the team. That is a jump out from down below. In fact, there's two people running out on Spiker on the rappel, and it's Raffi credited with the kill. Now you've got JJ below 50 HP, Adapt who's been rezzed with 20, and Oni being the only full member of Project Neo, moving into the last minute of this round. A 5 versus 3, gas canister is still up from Prompted as well. He's still got 2 in his pocket. No more C4 though, but you got impacts from Exo, and with how low HP Project Neo is, those could definitely be more than enough to finish off those 2 low HP players. Oni's going to be the one with the diffuser, as the rest of his team can't really be relied upon to plant, especially not with the utility that PDHM has in their pockets. The spot that Malusi's still playing inside of Study, as the vault wall will be opened by JJ. Not quite sure if that's going to be a direct avenue into the site, though, especially as Raffi takes out Oni, again, the only full HP player, prone on the Study door, looking over the risk table. It's just JJ and Adapt, 2 versus 5, 25 seconds left, low HP, rotating over towards 90 is JJ. We'll try and make a stake through this wall. C4 shot midair. Great shot from Adapt as Exo does go down to the AK-12, but there's a swift response from Wav. It's just Adapt, 12 seconds. He does take out one, but there's Raffi still chilling inside of Study, still covering risk. PDHM take their first defense.
And both of these teams on attack need to start to cover their bases. It's becoming a liability to only drone the part of the map that you want to take. The reason why it's a liability is there can be off-site pressure lurking around that is going to be lethal. It is those nitro cells underneath. And again, the whole idea of these bomb sites are to force the attackers into a multi-pronged assault. But if you can force that, not only a multi-pronged assault on the same floor, but on 2 different floors, that becomes quite taxing for an attacking lineup. And we've seen rosters say, yeah, we're not going to just do a full north clear. What we're going to do instead is we're going to do a pure Study execute, but we're going to have some extension underneath, pushing in through the piano. That way, we can soften up the fortifications of the defense. And if there are nitrocell pressure that is off-site, well, they're going to rotate to the first floor and take our gunfights. If we've done our homework, we can have flank drones to catch that, and we can stop on the vertical clear and take those gunfights, and then continue to soften up the defense. Now, Project Neo, they're going to now have to attack in the exact same style philosophy, as PDHM has decided to bring out the tertiary bomb site downstairs to kitchen dining. We'll go.
Bringing plenty of C4 at their disposal. Exo, Raffi, and Prompted all playing with that, likely supported by that cardiac sensor that Raffi has. He'll be playing down on the site. You'll likely have, I imagine, Wav and Exo up top, so maybe one less C4 to play with vertically, but still 2 should be enough. Problem, in fact, is barricading off Memorial, making sure that they can't easily get pressured from horizontal while they're staring at the ceiling looking at heartbeats. Wav will play aggressively over towards Study, as will Exo, looking to meet the attackers head-on. One drone will be cleared by the Mozzie. Wav pre-firing over towards the Study door. Neither player will land their shots, so they'll just retreat. They know that, you know, it's probably unwise to just try and directly challenge. Exo swinging the window. He sees the Zofia just for a second, but able to get away at least for now. Able to make his way behind the pillar to safety, and Wav playing a very tight angle. Wow, what a shot. Good night, Spiker. First frag goes the way of PDHM.
EXO was literally stuck in a rock and a hard place. He was dead in that corner. He called in for an assistance, the tag team effort, and that's Project Neo. Forced to fight with a man disadvantage. Spiker was such a crucial player in our first map. Now all he can do is communicate with his teammates and call out those flanks. And when you have a hot hand like Spiker, that's the player that you want alive. So an unfortunate set of scenarios for Project Neo. But if any roster is able to come back from the brink of destruction, it will be them. They're still breaking down some of this off-site pressure of PDHM. They're roaming into just about every single nook and cranny. Adapt, he smells something fishy. He thinks that there's somebody isolated over by the cabinet. He will be correct. Wav with the swing, but it doesn't gain anything except for Adapt, who isolates the headshot.
Exo also tosses up his C4 just to land on nothing. So one more in the pocket of Raffi, as Subarctic is actually in the basement. Smoke. I assume he's trying to rotate up towards Pantry, as Exo has taken some damage from above, and Oni will go ahead and start working the vertical, as the sledge, of course. PDHM, they're looking pretty good. We're now sub 1 minute, and Neo are just starting their vertical play. But Adapt does get the kill onto Exo to bring things back, at least in man count terms. So, they now lead by 1. You take out an operator who had already used his C4, though. But as I say that, Raffi's actually used his as well. Now we have no more C4 on the side of PDHM. You've just got 3 gas grenades in the side of Subarctic. 30 seconds left to hold off. Cardiac sensor can still spot enemies out, so it's still good intel for the defense as Prompted starts to rotate downstairs. Not quite sure where he's looking to come up, but Prompted does go down. It's triple kill for Adapt on the flank watch. He's looking for more as he's now at the bottom of Astro's stairs. The pulse right next to him. In comes the swing from Raffi. The pre-fire will land, and he'll look to try and retake upstairs. Or no, he actually finds the drop. Wow, Oni just gets absolutely handed. And X24 goes down. It's just GJ on the plane, but it's denied by Raffi. What happened? PDHM take round number 8. A huge clutch from Raffi and Subarctic.
Excuse me? What did we just witness, Crow?
A 2 versus 4. That's what. PDHM, they should not have won that.
I mean, that round was full of highlight plays, and both of these rosters just said, you know what? We can have the best strategy in the world. We're just going to throw it out the window. Whether it was Wav just flying and challenging 90 window, whether or not it was Adapt just taking gunfights on flank watch and pretending like he's an Ash, winning his ones, and then that miracle clutch save at the end. How are these players just able to take these gunfights? Both these teams are just falling flat on their face, but their left or right hands, their ability to click their mouses are just inhuman at this point. A great play for PDHM in the dying seconds of the round. Honestly,
yeah,
clutches like that, 2v4s, that's honestly brutally unacceptable. There's no way you should ever lose that.
Yeah, that was incredible, especially from Raffi. So Adapt swinging and killing Prompted on the rotate. Raffi knows he's going to be at bottom Astro. Swings pre-fires there. Dead. Oni comes in for the trade. And the way in which he comes in for the trade is hopping down from the heavens right over the balcony into carpet, and Oni just gets demolished. I'm Raffi with the quick ADS, the angle grip on the ump. You're probably not going to outduel that, not when you're not ready for it. So that was an easy kill on Oni. The smokes come in, JJ starts planting, and all it takes is 2 pre-fires through the smoke from PDHM. One in the doorway, Subarctic downs him, and one on the planter right behind the couch. That's an easy lineup for Raffi. And I mean, that just should not have happened. Neo, that was another case of Neo maybe getting a little too ahead of themselves, trying to stop Raffi and losing their gunfights. You know, that seems to be a reoccurring theme. And now PDHM, they've strung 2 defenses in a row. The 4-2 lead that Neo had has slipped away.
You know, I'm known for going on a few different tangents and rants. One of the ones that I haven't been on in a while is the use of smoke grenades. If you smoke off your own line of sight like Project Neo did, you're not going to accomplish much. You're actually going to make it so that remaining cross-cover player won't be able to do much. That's why you smoke deep. Imagine that smoke grenade landed Tetris. I mean, you're not going to stop, you know, the smoke wallbang with the SMG-11, but at least you're doing something more other than hurting yourself. You need to realize those grenades, those smoke grenades are always going to help you. 90% of the time, unless you just drop it on top of your planner and just kind of pray that the defense, doesn't push up and put themselves in strong positions, I have to be critical of Project Neo for that one as well.
Yeah, that was
Oof, I think is what the kids say.
there's so many times where we see attackers smoke themselves instead of smoking the lines of sight. And I mean, when you smoke yourself, especially on a plant spot, all you're doing is giving the defenders a target. You're telling the defenders, hey, I'm planting here. Spray into it. And how many times do we see the defenders land? Because, they're not morons. They know how to pre-fire head level when someone's planting. So PDHM have looked pretty good on their attacks or on their defenses so far. Dining, sure, it was really close and it was down to a clutch. And as we always say, you can't reasonably rely on it. But it's a clutch nonetheless. And with how many, how few rounds Siege you need to win in Siege, it's only 7 rather than, like the 13 in CS, 13 in Valorant, stuff like that. Every clutch, matters because of how few rounds it takes to win. So, really good by PDHM. Next up is Trophy. They're, of course, going to be looking to complete that site rotation. I don't know. I don't know if I can call it, just because Trophy is such a vastly different bomb site from Dining and AVG. It doesn't really play the same at all. They are bringing a pretty different lineup. They've got Valkyrie now from EXO, and they've got the Aruni from Prompted.
Well, again, it seems like everybody likes their one particular strategy. Nitrocell Bonanza. That has really been the motif of Villa, and we're going to see it once again. And no surprise there, but I guess the real strategy is, what will we see from PDHM? Is it going to be the Project Neo type strategy, where they put all of their reinforcements and all of their utility downstairs over by dining room and kitchen? Now, this is unique, what we currently see. All the holes being punched in the wall. There's a couple options for this. One, you play underneath and you can shoot the Harmbreed charge. Option 2 is if a small hole is made, you can start to propagate explosives on the other side of the wall. For whatever reason, if there's an opening in the wall, we'll start to see nitrocells, we'll start to see impact grenades kind of curve the shrapnel around the wall, which again doesn't make sense from a physics standpoint, but that's just how the game works. So you can kind of bend physics and get a free kill.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Things happen.
I don't see why not. So let me just see how the Arunis come into play. Actually, wasn't paying attention, so I don't know where you put them. Do you remember where you put them?
There's one currently on Lamp Door, and I haven't seen the other one. So Lamp Door is gonna be the one that's
There's
facing the west by Boar.
Okay, one master. I assume one
Here's lamp.
connector. No, bathroom. Okay. All right, I see. Those are pretty standard. Those are like, hey, you have to come through here, so we're gonna put an Aruni gate down. X24 is in the bathroom on an elevated position, ready and waiting. He's having a standoff right now with EXO through the wall. EXO will be the first to expose himself, and he swings and he misses. Only one bullet landed on the Ash's body, and it'll be a loss of life for PDHM. No more C4 from below, at least not from the Valkyrie. Still got Raffi, and you still got Subarctic, but now they'll start feeling a little bit pressured. In will come the swing from the Pulse, I assume, but the Zofia is ready and waiting. I think he hears Spiker get off the drone. Detect the heartbeat. He's not moving. No, the headshot not being found. He'll jump back out the window, but right into the waiting arms of Subarctic. Subarctic I think he just swung the doorway as the Zofia vaulted out. So it's a 1-for-1. Spiker for EXO. You lose a C4 if you're the defense, but you lose a hell of a lot of utility. You lose the burn and you lose the destruction of Spiker. You've also got very low HP on JJ now, leading to the last minute of the round. PDHM, they still have those bodies downstairs they can play with. The Aruni gates are still up. They're probably going to be in the advantage leading into the latter half of this round.
Well, Adapt, he's going to turn into the entry frag roll once again. Steam heading his way into the bomb site, but he's going to tone down the aggression as he puts the bomb on the deck. He's going to have to get off since Oni is down but not out. He's going to have to take these gunfights. The problem is he's on a bulletproof camera the entire time, and you never want to be planting on the bad end of that. Oni will res back to 20 HP. He'll go and Adapt once again, evolving into a fragger, trying to take gunfights.
Oh.
There's one down for him, prompting flashbangs to go down range and allowing him to once again return to his home of putting the bomb on the ground. forced to go to the pistol as he's the only teammate left for Project Neo. He spots ahead of the one, but the ACOG doesn't dish out the damage. There he goes, a one-tap headshot, but he's on so little HP, he doesn't know where PDHM is playing. A spray with the pistol will be good. Now 2v1, forcing and trying to go for more. It's now a crispier one-tap. He is so successful with this, but he still has to find one on the other side of the wall. The shotgun won't do it. The almost clutch. Wow, Project Neo almost saved the day. Han Solo's in chat. Incredible for him.
Holy shit.
Wow.
I'm in awe. Holy crap.
Bro, that's why Adapt plays and we cast.
Dude, even PDHM were like, dude, nice try. That was all with the Han Solo pistol, being able to tap down 3 players there. Oh, wait, was that? No, did he kill Prompted?
I believe he did.
Was that a 4K?
I believe that was a 4K going for the ace.
Sheesh.
He's just built different.
I mean, the round was abysmal from Neo all around, just because, you know, they went 1 for 1 and the C4s came into play. They got 2 free kills, and, you know, everything just started falling apart. But, I mean, Adapt. Wow. That was an incredible display of mechanical skill and game sense from him. PDHM just kind of throwing bodies at him and all losing their lives to one-taps, basically. But, luckily, there was a shotgun to save the day. I think that was... Excuse me. I think that was what? Subarctic, I think?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Still alive? Yeah, the mute. But, PDHM, they don't take the lead. They're looking in prime position to start closing out this map, or at least take us to 6 points, map point. They're hungry for that 2-0, especially after the previous weeks, unfortunately losing to both Honor. Losing to Honor and losing 1 map to Vale. Now we'll see a different player on the Aruni and a different side as well. I'm glad we see Aruni being played a little bit more. It'll be AVG. Again, wasn't really paying attention, so I don't remember where the Aruni gates are. We'll leave 1 for downstairs, and it'll be Exo playing that instead of Prompted. All right, so 1's on the skull door.
1 looked like it was on Vault earlier, on the Vault wall, the west wall by 90. There it is.
Okay, Vault wall, and then he's got 1 down below.
See, I don't like that 1 on the Vault wall, because how do you deny the Vault wall? Well, you impact trick. If you try to impact trick the Selma gate, it's going to grab your impact grenade and stop your impact trick. Unless you're sitting tight against the wall, which means you're going to impact yourself. I don't know if I'm the happiest camper with that strategy, but at least you can impact through the drone hole if that happens, which, I mean, maybe not all is lost there, but if one of the Selma charges does end up bypassing the trick through the drone hole, you have no other option other than throwing it flat against the wall. With the Selma gate, you're not going to have that option. So it's curious to say the least, but what we've been highlighting throughout this series are rosters changing up strategies, doing things that are a little bit atypical. And Crow, I'm always on board for that.
Yeah, different strategies are always fun. We love those. We stand different strategies. Through the floor, Prompted is going to be looking for that sledge. You can hear Oni right below him, a very slim angle being played. He'll deal significant damage to him, but unfortunately, not be able to find the kill, at least not just yet. Nade goes up, deals chip damage, negligible damage to Prompted. I don't know why I struggled with that word, but it's Raffi all the way by the living room door towards carpet to finish Oni off. That is a fantastic first kill for the defense. You take off the other nade, you take Oni out. The pre-fire from X24 finds the head of Exo. Down goes the Aruni, but her utility already largely out. So, you know, losing the sledge, definitely a bigger blow. Raffi will look to retake 90 against the repelling player of Adapt. I mean, after that last round, I would be absolutely terrified to peek this man. And Raffi, he knows better. He'll start to fall off, but here comes the swing. Damage being done to the Malusi, and he will yet again fall off down towards carpet. Already, the smoke canister is going to be used. 35 seconds left in the round as the ace will start to breach open the classical wall. Wav holding close as the drone comes in, as does a flash grenade. But Raffi can now play from below using that C4. In comes the swing from Adapt, though, as he's joined his team. Down goes Wav by the bomb chassis. A C4 still in the pocket from Subarctic, but The plant going down from Neo. In fact, it's JJ. C4 up, though. This should be a denial, and there it is. Raffi does go down for the trade, though. And no, Subarctic can't find the pick. It's Prompted alone. 6 seconds left. Out goes the gas canister. Down goes the Nomad. 3 seconds. He gets another one. Prompted goes huge. The 3K and PDHM put themselves on 6 points.
How are these rosters doing the same just crazy play after crazy play? Adapt with an almost clutch, and now a smoke player? The last line of this defense. When all hope is lost, you face your smoke and say, you have 17 bullets in your SMG-11? Good luck clutching this. And honestly, no luck was needed in that scenario. It was all based purely off skill. PDHM is flexing their muscles. Project Neo, they need to coordinate a little bit better. They're haphazardly pushing in through that map. Once they realize they make the mistake, to their credit, they do sometimes correct it with that wonderful refrag by X24, but at that point the round was already slipping away from their fingers. We currently find ourselves on match point, series point, and the wiggle room for Project Neo is going to start to get wider and wider. They need to start to find problems, and they need to start to answer them. That's the most important thing. You can identify the problems, they're usually right in front of you, but how do you break down those problems?
If I knew, my life wouldn't be in shambles. Okay, my life's great. I'm broke. Life's great. Actually, no. Wait, I should get... Ah, never mind. I may not be broke for much longer.
Excellent.
Thumbs up emoji.
Ooh, Pog emoji.
No.
Chief Pog.
Alright. Dining room is going to be where this match could potentially end. PDHM last time around got a 2v4 clutch. Big ups to both Prompted and Raffi. Where's the tail end of... Subarctic and Raffi. Where's the tail end of that? Raffi especially with a big 3K. I also see a lot of people in chat questioning whether or not I can see. No. When my hair grows out this long, my eyes actually disappear, and I'm casting using echolocation. So that's whenever I stop casting and whenever Chief starts, I can't see the screen. I have to go completely off of what he's saying. So Chief, make sure you don't tell me anything wrong.
I've been pointing you wrong the entire time. That's just a big joke on you. I mean, we're in round 11 in the second map. I may as well come clean that I've been trolling you the entire time. We're not even on Villa, actually. We're on theme park, so just let you know that.
Well, no, now I know that you're lying, because I can still echolocate. See? I know, see, because I'm speaking right now, I know that Adapt was pushing 90 and that X24 is outside the Astro Repel. But once I stop talking, it's like everything goes black.
So I guess you talking is kind of like your clicking sound. I appreciate that level of effort, but you know, what happens if I, again, start to lie? What happens if I find a new way of cheating the system and gaming you?
Don't lie. Don't lie.
Okay. I mean, liar, liar, pants on fire. I guess Chief is a meanie, but anyways, we find ourselves 100 seconds left in this round. Wav is going to be back in his favorite position. He's been here before, but the last time he was here, Adapt absolutely obliterated him. And the storyline will continue. Good night, says Adapt. Stop playing in the same position, says Adapt. My lord, don't be so predictable next time. Well, we're talking about Project Neo needing to change things. I guess PDHM also needs to follow the same storyline. They can't be sitting in the same darn spots.
A little bit too early there on the C4 from Exo, and Oni will take just a little bit of damage. There's actually another one pre-placed. I think it was Exo's that blew up. I think the other pre-placed is Prompted. Maybe I have that right. Yep, it was Prompted, and there we go. They don't find the kill necessary. Down goes the Sledge pretty early on. I mean, he only made, what, like maybe 4 or 5 holes? That's not the usage that you want to get out of your Sledge. Prompted does take a lot of damage from X24s. The laundry wall will start to be breached by JJ. Spiker as well, inside of Carpet, making sure that Raffi has no escape, and thus he will go down. But Prompted just walks through the breach and shotguns JJ as if it was nothing. But look for another one. X24 coming in. He'll collect the diffuser. He is right around the corner, and Prompted is very low on HP. X24 seems to be aware that he's just around the corner. Here comes the pre-fire, and down goes your mute. Only 12 seconds left, and Exo is there with another kill. What a reaction from X24, and Spiker coming in from Memo closes it out. Project Neo, though it looks very close, thank God for the double push there. I didn't even know Spiker was pinching. And they'll take another round. 6-5, yet again. One more round in regulation to decide whether or not it's a PDHM victory or if we'll need OT.
PDHM did so many things well in the last few seconds of that round. And honestly, if I were to point fingers, WAV, he would get the main finger right now, simply because he's way too aggressive upstairs. If he sniped away a drone, retreated back to his bomb site, that would have been a large man advantage on the site for PDHM, and they would have been able to participate in the refrag game. They would have been able to get more kills and deny entrance and that final bomb either going down or the crossfire being established. And that never panned out for PDHM. Why? Because they wanted to take gunfights. And it seems like this entire series has devolved into, we don't need strategies. You know, clicking heads, that's the name of the game. But I'm always critical of rosters that, have their primary strategy be of gun go burr and, big brain second.
I just want to apologize for ever doubting Prompted, ever. Ever. Even in the earlier seasons when he was like even in the earlier matches of the season when he was like double negative, nope. I am sorry, Prompted. You are just, I just want to say, you're insane. I don't know what it is. This guy's 13-8 right now after coming 15-7 in the last map. So, Prompted is doing very well for himself. He'll have to try and step up once again as it's yet again a trophy defense. The one time that PDHM have defended this, it was a 1v4 ace clutch situation for Adapt, and he killed 3 people. He got it down to a 1v1 before getting shotgun. Exo poking a little fun at both himself and Oni. They're both 3-2-8. They are both bottom fragment. That is truly unfortunate for him. Oh, actually, JJ's tied for 3 kills, only with 1 less death. That might be part of the reason why Project Neo are starting to lag behind. Adapt certainly trying his best. He's 15-10 right now. He has died. Well, he's gotten a fair bit of kills, but he's also died all but 1 round. Here comes the entry from Project Neo, already clearing over towards the study side, ensuring there are no roamers to meet them with the cutoff inside of 90.
Well, as you were saying, the storyline, again, for both these series continues to increase. It is certain individuals finding impact kills and other individuals doing none of that. And if you want to be a victorious team, you need everybody to be firing on all cylinders. And, you can always highlight the support players. Their job is not to collect heads, and that's always going to be true. Their job is to provide information to their primary droner or the primary entries so they can take those gunfights. But sometimes, when your back's against the wall, you need to start to take those gunfights. You need to win them. And unfortunately, JJ rotating over to the north side of the map, it was ill-advised. He ends up losing his life, and the primary support is off the board. But fortunately, there is a refrag, and that pulse cardiac sensor, the built-in wall hacks, will be no more. So the information game slightly nerfed for PDHM.
Yeah, if there's any response that you want to your hard breach getting taken out, it's probably that. Raffi goes down. C4 potential has been reduced. WAV gets droned out. We'll have to get out of the bathroom and retreat over towards Astro. Things have now started to slow down. We're in a 4 versus 4. There's a minute left. X24 starting to drone in. He should spot out both of these roamers momentarily. Whoever was there at the bottom of Pantry at the bottom of Astro will rotate back up. Neo now making sure that there's no one downstairs to greet them. Adapt holding by the bomb chassis. Almost gets swung on by Exo. He'll stun to make sure no one's going to push up his door, and he'll continue to pressure Lamp. He has Diffuser in hand. If he can just get in with the cover of his team, this could potentially be a first plant attempt from Neo. Another stun goes in, but it will be ADS. Exo playing aggressively behind the bomb chassis. He'll go full white. And there's the push in from Adapt. He'll start getting this plant down, but tagged up heavily by Exo, as X24 wasn't in a position to cover. He'll try getting the plant down again, but there's the prone peek from WAV. Exo gets traded up by X24, and in comes the push from the Ash, but she's getting extremely lit from that Evil Eye. Crossfired from the other objective as Prompted takes him out and finishes the down. It's a 2 versus 3 to save the map for Project Neo. It's Spiker and Oni. Diffuser on the floor. In comes an impact to take out the Banshee. Stun in as well, but he's not going to be able to find the angle. Oni will just run in. He'll start getting the plant down. We need to have cover from Spiker. It needs to be flawless. It's 0-0 on the clock. In comes the swing from WAV, and he'll find both. It's a quad kill for the Jaeger as the plant goes down. And PDHM finish off the map 7-5. No OT needed on Villa. WAV says, give me that defuse. Another kill from Subarctic. And it's a 7-5. PDHM, a big 5 points on the board for them.
That was quite an incredible round. And honestly, what better way of wrapping up this PDHM Project Neo game than a last second brawl to the death where everybody just starts to throw bodies at the problem, and suddenly it's another miraculous 4K that comes out of nowhere. That was just truly great. And honestly, Project Neo being a U18 roster, and the last time we saw them on Villa, that was against TSM, which they did beat to their credit, even though that was kind of a different style of play from TSM. The way Neo plays against Challenger League rosters, against T1 rosters, is great. The future Project Neo just seems to somehow get brighter and brighter for these teams, and JJ and company, they still need to have their heads held high. They're a great team. They're a great roster. They stumbled against PDHM, but honestly, they should never be too angry at themselves. Take today as a learning lesson and a building block. Be prepared for week 4.
Yeah, Neo, they look good, but PDHM, they looked better. 8-6, 7-5. They were trailing. They were really trailing, but a big 5 points on the board, I believe, at least for the meantime, puts them above Synthetic, as far as I'm aware. I'm just hedging a guess. We'll see the scoreboard after we or when we start to wrap up the stream. But absolutely massive from Prompted. I mean, what can we say?
So he
went. Looking at my notes, he went 29-16.
So I have some information to you. According to Liquipedia, PDHM is currently sitting on 3 points, and with 6 points total, they will be leapfrogging Synthetic, since Synthetic is at 5 points. So that's at least the way things are going to be going. Again, things can be subject to change, but right now, PDHM is going to find themselves in a position where they don't get auto-relegated. Again, it's week 3. We're halfway through the group stages, so at this point, you don't want to be 5th and 6th, because that becomes one of the most scary positions that you're in. Because if you make a mistake, let's say you throw a map, you woke up one day, you were rushed, you didn't eat your Cheetos, and you decide that AIM Labs wasn't for you because you overslept.
Free on Steam.
Yep,
download
free on
it.
Steam. Download AIM Labs. Actually, it's great. If you can't aim, if you're like a silver bot like Bubs, you can always find themselves on some AIM Labs and actually improve. But great showing all around.
Yeah, well played from PDHM. Big 5 points needed. And I mean, there were so many highlight plays. I mean, from both teams. X24 had some Spiker, Adapt. Didn't really see a lot from JJ and Oni, unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure everyone on PDHM at some point had a highlight round. Except Exo. Except Exo. Except Matt Exo, because he's from the South, and we hate those. But all in all, I think that's a good showing. PDHM were kind of trolling in the beginning of the season. They seemed like they were taking this match a little bit more seriously, maybe because they just wanted to put the deputy in his place. A lot of people think he's been getting a little bit too big for his britches. So of course, PDHM had to re-humble the roster after they beat TSM. So basically, what that means is that PDHM are better than TSM.
Yes, 100% confirmed.
Yep.
Without a shadow of a doubt, if you disagree with us, you're just 100% wrong. Now, Harrison, if you were to pick one play today from this series, which was just storybook play after storybook play, the plays got better, who would you pick as like the crispiest, the highlight play of the day?
So one specific play?
If I had to say, put $1 million, whoever caught that best play is the MVP of the series. What play and who would you give?
Rafi on the last round of Clubhouse.
All right, I'll give you credit for that. Now, mine wasn't impactful, but that 44 auto mag play from Adapt.
Oh yeah, that was brilliant.
That was beyond really incredible.
But I feel like for play of the day, I'd rather give it to the 4K from WAV was insane. The 3K from Prompted that we saw, the 1v3 on the smoke was insane. The 2v4 from Rafi and Subarctic as well. But I'm just gonna give that down. I'm gonna give it to Rafi because of the pre-planned nitro cell. I thought was just so smart. That was incredible from Rafi. And now we can take a look at the total stats. Of course, Adapt at the top, 16 and 11, doing his absolute damnedest to keep his team in it. 75% cost, 2-0 on entry on the Nomad was definitely impressive. But with X24 at 9 and 7, I mean, you still got the boys on PDHM. Prompted, WAV, Subarctic, the trio all above 1.0. 75% cost. He and Adapt being tied, or Subarctic and Adapt. The entry game being pretty even across the board. I mean, Exo 3 and 9, you know, but he's hard support. Prompted and WAV though, insane performance. Prompted being really consistent across both maps. I mean, 14 and 8, 15 and 7 on Clubhouse. Being really slow on Clubhouse. I mean, he was like what, 1 and 7 and finished like 5 and 8, 5 and 9, something like that. And then going on to map 2 and going 12 and 9 with a 4K in the last. I mean, he was negative. He was 8 and 9, and then just, or sorry, he was 8 and 8. I think. I don't know if we counted that last TK as a death, but getting a 4K like that when it really mattered was that was huge. What a play from him. I wasn't expecting that. I'm not gonna lie.
I just have the big smile on my face, but our interview is ready. Roshi, the coach of PDHM, will be blessing us with our presence, and I'm excited to talk to a coach. I love listening to coaches because you guys are just way smarter than us. First off, my friend. That's great.
What? You cut out.
Oh no. Anyways, congrats first off, and well, what led today? What led you to all of your success? Were you expecting Project Neo to take you to, at minimum, round 12 each series?
I mean, you have to expect the most from every team you play against 100%. If you don't do that, you're going to end up giving up upsets. But as always, we try our best. We come in, try and prepare as much as we can. And, whether it's this game or CL, we're always going to put the same amount of effort in, 100%.
Okay.
Now, stepping away from the overall series, I just have one question. Again, from a coach mind spec, Chalet, obviously it's new to the map pool. Are you guys prepared for that? Are we going to be seeing it some play week in the future?
I'm not going to say much, but we like the map. That's all
All
I'll
right,
say.
you better, because if I don't see you guys bring it out in Challenger League during the season and I don't get to cast you guys on Chalet, I'm flying to Alabama and I'm kissing Exo
through the tornado?
Yes. I will fly through the tornado just to French kiss Exo. I hope you know.
Okay.
But
all right, he's 18 now. It's okay.
Exactly. That's why. So, regarding Clubhouse, you guys at first have a really good defense. You take 3 in a row. You take a perfect site rotation. What happened after that?
I mean, we actually started some of the rounds pretty well, especially, towards the end of I think the second CC defense. We got it to like a 2v1 and we lost it. I think a lot of it might have just been we lost fights or they had the better execute. We couldn't really defend it well.
Okay, because I know we had the and it was big rounds as well. 3K from Subarctic and 2K from Rafi. All 5 kills just holding down rafters. We had a 3K from Prompted on smoke on the church defense, and then we moved to the second half. It goes a little bit more back and forth. I mean, the church rounds. I mean, the only one because Adapt was just popping off as Maestro. But we go into OT. You guys successfully attack church. I want to talk about the final round, the final gym round. So throughout every time you guys were defending gym, you held on the cash pretty much till the end of the round. You were able to get the crossfires on the site. One, were you guys expecting the Monty? And how much did that change up how you guys were going to defend it?
I mean, the Monty's always a surprise. A team isn't going to pull that out all the time. Especially for this game because of the reschedule. We didn't have as much prep as we would have liked to. But when a team does pull out something like that, we, it's on, like EXO as IGL or us as a team to adjust properly and win the run. So.
Okay, so Exo has taken over IGLing. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
And then of course, why not bring the Aruni in your final round?
Why not bring the Aruni? I mean, I think it's just an adjustment you make. We felt like we wanted to bring something else and switch it up. We just felt like it wasn't working. It's just more of like an experimental thing.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking about Aruni, I want to tack on to what Chief asked about Chalet. How are you guys specifically, or how have you found that Aruni's really been used? Because we haven't really seen her too much on. I mean, we saw it on Villa, but regarding like Club and Cafe, we never really see her on the bomb site itself. It's more to facilitate those extensions.
I think, weirdly enough, I think Aruni is really good at doing something like that. Kind of almost as like if you see like a castle, because of how those gates kind of interact and with the burn and how you can't really even go through it unless you burn it. So I think in a way similar, she is kind of similar to Castle, if that sounds weird, but
no, yeah, it's definitely makes that's actually a that's actually a comparison that Chief had made during the cast. And I mean, I gotta highlight Rafi in the last round of Clubhouse as well. Rafi, was that all right? I gotta know, was that C4 an Exo call or a Rafi call?
Rafi call.
Wow.
Rafi was big
Really?
brain for once.
Wow, the rare Frenchy big brain. Wow, color me surprised.
Doesn't happen much. Doesn't happen much.
After casting Rafi for over a year, it really doesn't. But you know when it does, that was absolutely huge. And then we go on to Villa, where again there's just highlight plays all over the place. Like Spiker with a 3K in round 1 from Trophy. I mean, was that just pretty much down to just no flank watch?
Yeah, I mean, early mistakes. We just gotta make sure it doesn't happen again throughout the rounds. We just made sure we tightened up towards the end.
Yeah, and I also noticed, immediately after that, you guys swapped back onto the Nomad to try and stop that. I mean, AVG, and then Trophy, big plays from Neo, and then moving on to your defense. First off, the dining 2v4 from Rafi and Subarctic. I mean, what were the comms like in that one?
Oh boy, honestly, surprisingly clean. I'm actually really happy with how the boys stayed calm throughout a lot of these late round tense situations. That's something we've been working on, and I'm really happy with how they handled that today. Comms didn't get loud most of the time, and we kept it vivid and really clear.
That's actually really nice to hear. What about Prompted's 1v3?
oh man, I screamed in my house, man. My parents got upset with me. That was crazy.
Yeah, because I mean there was Prompted's 1v3, and then of course in the final round, Wav who's been having a little bit of a slow day, and then he decided he was gonna do that. That was huge from him. But I mean, moving into the rest of the season, because I know towards the beginning of the season from SCS, it looked like you guys were kind of saving and kind of just playing for fun. But going into this match, I mean, is it safe to say that this match was a lot more serious?
I mean, I think as any CL team going into this, we go into this as like we want just match day experience. We want to try and get as much game day as possible. And I think today was no different. We're gonna try the same amount every time, and that's why we're in this league, is to get experience mostly before the CL season starts.
Okay, well that's good to hear. I definitely look forward to seeing you guys in CL. Are you guys in Group A?
Yeah, we're in Group A.
Okay, cool. So dude, I get to cast you during in our debut day. I get to cast you guys, and then later in the day, I think Parabellum plays as well. So I'm excited. I'm definitely excited for the start of Challenger League. Chief, do you have any other questions to ask?
Well, my friend, I'll let you part, but quickly, shout out your organization. Shout out everybody who's made you successful for this victory.
Yeah, 100%. Shout out to everyone that supports us. Shout out to our org.
Perfect. My friend, great speaking with you. Go back to your team. Celebrate your victory. You guys definitely earned it today.
All right, yeah, thank you, man.
Cheers, Exo and Rafi, I love them.
Make sure you do that as well. All right,
I think he's already gone. I don't know if he heard
Yeah, he went away too soon. But my friend, we're not quite done yet. No, we're not done. We got big boy statistics. All of our lovely analysts today, they crunched their numbers. And a shout out to Azul, Matt, as well as Mistakes. Yeah. They're on top of it. They just put all this information in front of you because it's glorious. My lord. Wow.
Prompted. Look at him. Plus 14, 29 and 15, 6 and 2 on entry, 1.11 KPR, 73% cost, but don't let that overshadow the monumental efforts of Adapt. 34 and 20. I think
That's
that is
something.
also correct. 34 and 20, same entry differential, a 1.3 KPR, just a slightly lower survival rate and cost. Huge effort by both of those players. Subarctic doing very well too. X24 trying his hardest. Wav, slow map number 1, huge map number 2, but Oni and JJ specifically having a really slow series. I mean, everyone on PDHM throughout those 2 maps was on double digits. JJ and Oni really lagging behind.
Yeah, that's something you don't see.
All 4 of Oni's kills were headshots.
Hey,
can't take that away from him.
Always look on the bright side. I think that's what we're going to have to apply when we see Oni stumble a bit. And honestly, what's also unique about Project Neo is they planted twice, and out of the 3 plants that we've seen in this series, 2 of them from Project Neo. And,
LFG!
Yeah. I mean, we talked about the series going towards, Gun Go Burr. And this really shows in front of you because we think of playing the objective in two ways. You either click heads or you put the bomb down. And today, like we said, it was not putting that bomb down. They tried. They definitely tried, but it would be a 4K every single time, more or less, to stop it.
Yeah, and again, shout out to Prompted. I feel like I've been doing him injustices throughout the first couple weeks. I will never doubt you again, my friend. You absolutely heated up, and I really hope we see you on that entry role, continuing later into this season into CL, because support wasn't doing you justice. I mean, you're a nutty smoke, but I mean that Ash, you are. I have no words. But that's it. We're done. Tune in tomorrow. Another game at 6 p.m. EST. I'm not going to be casting. Are you going to be casting it?
I cast the second game of the day.
You cast the second. You'll be here tomorrow.
I will.
I won't. I don't know who's up first, but I actually don't even know what the games are. What are the games?
Oh, did Ferme just mute him? He's talking and he got muted. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go away. Have a wonderful evening. Stay safe. Stay well. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 6 EST.
A triple kill, but Son of Finn, he'll deny the plant. Easy super kills. Oh my god! Son of Finn will find more!
Where's Miracle? He's trying to come upstairs, but Crafty will get the ace. He'll get the plant. He'll do it all.
Device, misses shots. He's going to have to go for the front.
Oh,
He pushes
Dylan!
on through. Dylan is better.
Round 2, and there's another as Tyrant is finished off.
And they all line up for Bone.